Yo, wagons halted. Troops prepped for a brawl. Horde of ugly green dudes with DIY bats rushed us for loot. But the hired muscle stood tall to wreck those creeps. Then, bam, they clashed. Total bloodbath city. Rich beardy guy watched the drama, puffing a stogie, whining about daily raids. Clueless chunky dude missed the creepers behind him. Saw M too late. RIP reaction time? Lucky for him, long-haired bro swoops in. Goblin swung, but got totally sliced in, too. Didn't even see it coming. Dude blocks another ugly mug. Shield bash. Sent that goblin flying. Still, one mad goblin rushed our hero. Revenge mode activated. Guy got annoyed, ditched defense, and grabbed its face. Grabbed the head and arm, then ... yank. Then, in a super gnarly move, he ripped it apart. Rich guy just stared. Noble was shook, bare hands ripped, crazy. Face covered in monster goop. Guy eyed the corpse. Rich dude asked, "Who does?" Rewind. A guy was gaming on a PC first. Our hero explains. Gaming isn't a sin, folks. Game worlds had crazy stuff, like class systems and snobby rich people, backstabbing friends and plus, savage beasts just wanting to wreck stuff. Meet Don, tall, long hair, medieval drip, but wait, that's not his real name from the old world. Before he spills the tea, scene cut. Now he's writing in a book somewhere else. Sun hits his face in the wagon. Still writing. Baldy shows up. Shift change. Don stashed his notes. Then asked for updates. Dude said, 0 goblins. They chatted about weather and missing monsters while Don prepped. Then the wagon hit a rock, making Baldy spit out his drink. Gross. Don finished up. Sleep tight, bro, and left. Guy wiped his face. Good luck, Don. Stepped out. Folks shouting more at him. The carriages pull up to a massive city while Dallin yaps about starting the game tutorial 2 years ago. He drops the info that this pagan city is humanity's base in the starting zone, beeping the mega castle and all the sick builds. He's like, way cooler than my PC monitor. Strolling to the gates, he adds that it's packed with peeps and the only safe route down. Don claims this is the only path to dodge creeps guarding the fat loot underground. Plus, buried at the very bottom, sits the wish stone. It, grants wishes. He figures it's his only ticket home. To check if it's real, he gotta grind to the final level. Suddenly, some rondo shouts his name from the back. It was that noble dude from before. When Don said hi, the guy was like, chill, no formalities. Don towered over him. Bulma said, we're buds, relax. Our hero knew he wanted something. The noble gasped, sharp kid, that's why I dig you. Smoothly, Bulma asks if Dallin wants a merc gig with him. Hearing that, got confused. This event wasn't in the game script. Bulma's gut said that even with tons of OP heroes here, our boy would soon rival. The kid asked, trying to snag me early. The dwarf nodded. He stressed it'd benefit our hero too, asking again if he's down. But the kid said, nope. Dwarf smirked, grabbing gear. He tossed a coin bag. 15 shillings, you're cut. Don blinked. My rate's 10 shillings. Bulma said, the rest is a tip. Bulma just wanted to be cool with a pro. Don grinned. To wrap up the chat, Sorty said, don't ghost me. Don agreed. The dwarf put a hand out, saying, see ya. Don shook it back. Returning the vibe, dude seemed chill. They shook on it. Later on, at sunset, crowds filled the city streets. Our main guy, there, looking lost. Zoning out, ignoring folks. He replayed the chat. That offer, totally new content. He was like, wait, I've never seen this glitch. Guess my choices actually mess with the script now. Don figured it was a super sus offer. Yet, plot twist. His to-do list was already set in stone. Bro kept trekking through random streets, sketchy alleys, and the burbs. He skirted the slums until he finally spotted a sign. Sized up the joint, said bingo. This is it, and headed in. Don busts in. Classic tavern scene. Rowdy mobs and booze. Mercs were bragging about quests and laughing their heads off. Others looked totally wrecked, drowning sorrows or passing out cold. A total mess. Shockingly, Don was hyped. Yep, this is the spot, he grinned. Strolling through, he started yapping about game mechanics. Until shiny thing at 3 o'clock caught his eye. Dude cracked a wicked grin, flashing sharp teeth at the loot. Staring at the glow, he spotted a see-through ghost bot. System pops up. Found pathetic soldier's corpse. Guy got shanked by daggers right there. System says, loot the body. Get skills and gear. Sweet deal. Smirking and eyeing it, he wondered what OP weapon could beat this insane game. He reached out, and green vibes hit his arm. He grabbed the loot. I'm beating this, he swore. Cut to our MC at his PC, claiming he digs hard games. Fixing his setup, buzzing about game physics and controls. Easy mode. Total snooze fest for him. But this one was brutal. Watched his tune get wrecked by an ogre. Staring at the game over screen, he griped. MC's trash. Mobs are open. In-game world was totally doomed. Allies were either simping for demons or backstabbing him. Chugging caffeine to stay awake, day in, day out. Died like 100 times but refused to rage quit. Pop-up asks, buy items, yes or no. Microtransactions, ... Seeing this, he gets salty but pays up. Pay to win trash, he mutters. Clicks, yes, anyway. Saying he's invested too much time to just bail now. Back in the now, dude slams a mug. Meat weight, meat down. Should have deleted that app, he sighs. Glances sideways at the ghost loot while the bar keeps partying. Peeping at the static. Figure, the kid is hyped that nobody else can see the glitch. It is called Era DLC perk, where a new tune snags the skills of the main character who got wrecked last run. For noobs dying hundreds of times, it is basically infinite XP. Tossing some coins for his juice on the counter. He stands up, just one annoying bug in this OP system that you actually have to trek to your death spot and loot your own corpse. Staring at the body, looking kinda cringe and totally shook by this whole Isekai vibe, the boy reaches out. He triggers the loot skill. Green, glowing goop floats toward Dome gets totally swamped by the neon vibe, watching the magic show. Slurping up the aura, his stats and levels go burr. But wait a while, pop-up appears. He is confused, staring at the notification. System says he unlocked Demon's Brawl and shows the stats, checking his hand glowing with a purple orb. He clenches it. How did that noob have this skill? Whatever, he grins. It is actually pretty sick, considering the power-ups coming his way. Quest complete, he thinks, ready to bounce, but some random NPC at a table locks eyes on with his goons. The boss goes, new face. Mercenary vibes. He asks, why Don is here? No, the rules of this server? Kid, Don is like, say what now? Tipsy Thug says the rules mean paying attacks to him and Maroon yaps that paying up keeps his HP bar safe. Here, Don hears that and smells a major threat. Hero Boy spots a dagger on the guy. Wait, that looks familiar? Flashback. That is the exact jerk who killed his past self. But for the bandits, bad luck, Don goes. Sorry fam, wallet is empty. Dude gets salty. For real, 0 gold. Maroon gets in his grill, giving him the death stare. Baldy tries to jump in, but Maroon chills him out. Let him walk. The thug asks if he paid the tab. Don is like, yeah, settled? Fakin' nice, he says. Scram kid, I will let you slide today. Don turns to leave, ignoring Maroon's psycho killer vibe. Bad guy draws his blade, charging with full aggro. Kit looks clueless about the ambush, hand reaching for the doorknob. Psych Don spins with boss energy. Knew it, and counters. Nightlife is buzzing outside, totally normal vibes on the street. Then out of nowhere, the door gets wrecked. Maroon comes flying out, yeeted by our boy. The dude goes airborne, slams into the wall across the street, and drops like a sack of potatoes. Don cracks his neck in Yos, not falling for that lame trick twice. Idiot. Dizzy and salty, Maroon screams for his squad to jump him. So, a bunch of armed creeps circle around. They size up our hero, wondering if he's actually human or some beast from the north. He acts all shy, scratching his cheek while checking them out. Then he smirks, going full dark mode, thinking, new skill unlocked, time for a test run. Zero fear. He drops his gear to brawl with bare fists. Totally cocky, he signals, for the whole group to come at him. Maximum taunt. Triggered by the attitude, the mob calls him arrogant and rushes in. Knife guy jumps first, screaming for blood. But Don is just charging purple energy, waiting for the trap to snap shut. Right as the guy strikes, Don clenches his fist and gut checks him. With massive force, the dude gets launched away. Instant KO? Maybe rip. The other goons freak out, but charge anyway. Blade's ready to slice him up. Baldy swings a sword, but our boy dodges and tosses him like trash. Another guy lands a club hit. It breaks on Don's skin. Bandana? Dude panics, wondering if Don is made of iron. Don seizes the moment, and Bach fists him in the gut. Lights out. Seeing the rest charging, our hero does one thing. He smiles like a psycho. He knows this is an easy win. Maroon, still wrecked on the curb, yells, I pay you losers to win. Get him! Even though they're scared, a blonde guy tries a sneak attack from behind. But before he can land it, Don Spin kicks him right in the jaw. His buddy drops, and Dagger Guy rushes in. Don blocks, just in time, kicking up a dust cloud that blinds everyone for a sec. When it clears, Don has caught the blade barehanded, slicing his palm. Blocked the dude's move and boom, payback time. Smacked him right in the kisser. Betty's wondering how I grabbed that dagger. Guy flew back, like a ragdoll. Totally lights out, instantly. Don wasn't vibing with it though. Total trash, he grumbled, dusting off his chest like a boss. eyeing the pile of KO'd bandits. He's like, I just meant to grab his wrist. Guess my skill levels to noob for precision moves. Check the stats. My demon's armed combat. Up a measly 1%. This game is brutally hard. Man, suddenly, this bald guy pops up. Yo, what did you just do? Bartender gets all up in my face, pointing fingers. You can't beat dudes up at noon, merc or not, that's illegal. But our hero, zero patience for chatting. Figured it was a threat, so he whipped out his axe. Zip it. Baldy kept whining, yapping about consequences. If the guards see, axe straight at his face before he could blink. Guy froze up, terrified. Saw that blade stick right next to his skull. Pure panic mode. My bad, our hero smirked. Slipped, totally. An accident? He grabbed the axe back. The bald dude was shaking like a leaf. Glaring with that, I'll end you vibe. Axe in hand. He asked, so, what were you saying, Baldy? Cut tonight. Don's tossing a heavy gold bag like a toy. Pro tip, know who you're messing with before you threaten him. Since that guy ran the inn, he was absolutely loaded. Strolling downtown, he grinned. I can rent a sweet pad now. Popped into the Sword and Shield Inn. Receptionist says, hi. Guy asks, how long are you crashing here? We got discounts for ranked mercs, just so you know. 1 week, Don said, flashing a shiny necklace. Silver rank, baby, check the bling. Silver, sweet, brekkie, and lunch are on the house. Dinner's extra though. Total bill is 7 shillings. Don frowned at his loot. Still kinda pricey, huh? Whatever, not like he had a choice. Dropped the cash and headed to room for 12. Inside, he dumped his armor and gear on the bed. Stared at the moon, out the window. Dramatic pause. Game on. Rule number 1. Don't die. He kept zoning out, deep in thought. Gotta get buff and rich to save this doomed world. But here's the kicker, ... My gear is trash. My skills? Also, trash. Impossible. Need cash for epic loot and XP for the top tier skills. Good thing I've played a million. Runs my old corpses are everywhere. Whole maps open to farm XP. He'd level up like crazy. Fists clenched. Hype levels maxed. The dude figures if he loots everybody, he'd get insanely buff. Picturing the creeps out there, he notes. Clock's ticking. Gotta gear up, ASAP or bust. Brainstorming, he hunts for a gig to earn cash, loot corpses, and travel. He wraps up, deciding he needs to chat with the Nest's boss. Next day, spot the building with the emo bird logo. Inside's all lit up like a purple rave. Tables cluttered with gear, books, and magic juice. Cute girl props her head up, muttering down. She's chilling, reading up on our main guy's Next morning sun finally hits the hotel and the Maze City cribs. Desk guy waves by, and bro dips out fast. Looking around, totally lost, he wonders. Go now, or wait for a vibe check. He treks through the burbs, heading to his spot. After a hike, he finally spots the Raven sign. Guess I'm here. Place is a total dump. Vines eating the walls. Don's like, wow, total neglect. Barges in, like hello, spotting a purple crystal bar vibe, scanning the joint. Don sees an open door, but zero boss lady. Something pops up, so he shifts. Focus to a door. Maybe a creeper? Behind it, that girl's hiding a crossbow. Sneak. He spots it. Whoa, let's clear the air. He knocks the secret beat only pros. No. She pauses, sighs, and clicks. Oh, it's that. Groaning, she asks, how many times? Opens up, we're closed. Unless you're dying. Seeing our guy, she realizes he's huge and totally new. He's like, get more customers or go broke. She stares. Smirking a bit, she claps back. I'm good. You yap a lot for a northerner. How's a savage gonna lecture me? She adds. Get it. Dallin nods. Yup. Kinda awkward if I was just a savage who moved at age 2. She looks totally lost. I got civilized fast. For a spy, your language skills suck. She snorts, trying to stifle a laugh. Wow, what a letdown. She says, my bad. Seriously. She adds, didn't think a gentleman like you would get played so easily. She spins around, grinning. Since you're a paying customer, I guess I'll fetch tea. But as she turns, our hero spots the crossbow in her grip. Cue the cold sweat. Almost took a bolt to the chest, he thinks. She just ignores him with a smirk. Inside, she pours tea. You might know my rep, but let's do proper intro. I'm C. She says. Just a lowly informant for Raven's Nest, ... And, oh yeah, I run this joint. Name's Don, he replies. Heard this is the spot to pick up odd jobs and missions. She sits down, sure work's available, but who spilled the beans about my hideout? Blame Bulkma, he says. He told me to drink the booze, but avoid your tea like the plague. She rolls her eyes. Guy talks too much. You save his life or something? Something like that? Don shrugs. That secret knock you used, it's for VIPs only. She explains. How to be careful. Don sighs. Bit extreme for a precaution. Don't ya think? Anyway. She leans in. You want a mission? Look, I don't know you from Adam Bolkamus' body, or not. We're basically strangers. So, you get the grunt work. Stuff that won't bankrupt me if you totally screw up? Doan grins. Fair enough. First date rules. She smirks back. Let's see if the rumors about you ripping a goblin apart are true. Later, downtown in the slums, Doan checks a crumpled flyer. She's a sly fox, he mutters. Totally lied about not knowing me. Since I hit this town, she had my file memorized. Creepy. He creeps into a sewer tunnel and spots it. The outskirts of Bronze territory. X marks the spot. He starts looking around. People vanishing into thin air. Hence, the job. Whole lot of missing persons. Over the last month, all right here at the entrance. He scans the area. Patter says every 3 to 5 days. But lately, some kid vanished. Villain's getting cocky. He heads deeper into the muck. Last guy got snatched here. He notes, snooping around. Then, movement ahead, catches his eye. A monster's shadow, and it's complaining about being hungry. The thing looked human but crawled around like a weirdo on all fours. Doan whips out his gear to brawl, but then spots something sketchy. He realizes this humanoid freak, looking like a rat, is the jerk who ate his old body. System pings, found the hunter snacks he ate for a test run. Also hints, beat the eater, keep the eatin' skills. Basically, smack him down and steal back the loot. Doan stares him down. Veiny back, totally gross face. He grins. Jackpot, can't believe I found my mark already. Talk about a lucky break. Pop-up says, defeat it, absorb it, get the dead guy's powers. Sweet, guarding up. He figures, this punk's gotta be a scrub tier boss. Thinking back to round 1. He remembers Roddy used to be huge and wrecked houses for fun. The creep hisses, looking totally unhinged. Starving. Small snacks don't fill the void anymore. Doan squares up. Since it's early game, looks like this glitchy mess isn't fully cooked yet. He figures, that's a huge plus. Better to squash him now before he goes full op mode. Smirking, I'll delete you before you level up. Buddy, the beast, totally losing its marbles. Flashes, crazy eyes, and charges straight for the kill. Rushing in with massive claws, ready to turn him into confetti. Don's chilling. He just steps back. Missed me. Then punts it right in the gut while it's paused. Thing flies back like a rag doll, clutching its wrecked stomach. Bonks its head on the sewer wall. Total knockout vibes. It looks up, and yikes off its skull looks mashed. But then, gross pinku oozes out and fixes it instantly. Doan gets salty. Seriously, this guy's tough. Fast as lightning. The monster spins around, lunging for a rematch. Doan shows no chill, swinging his blade too. Slice it in two, but only nicks its belly. So close. Beast howls. Don's like, dang, not deep enough. Groaning, the freak twists around, trying to stop its guts from spilling out. While it's down, Doan raises his sword. Game over. Suddenly, tears. Wait, bro, stop, I'm human. Doan pauses, totally thrown off. Huh, you, good, now. The thing nods, yeah, ... Sobbing hard, it wails. I didn't mean to. Tears, everywhere. Dude keeps bawling his eyes out, swearing he never wanted to. Snack on humans. Blames some shady creeps for the monster upgrade. Our hero is like, who did this to you, bruh? Beast mode shrugs. Deno just saw black robes and masks. Says they drugged him with weird potions to hulk him out like that. Dallin gets curious. Describe the masks. Give me the deets. Through the tears, he says they were gold, smooth, big painted smiles. Don's brain clicks. Ooh, those guys mean major headaches later. He realizes he better get ready to throw down. Suddenly, the monster freaks, guilt-tripping hard. Kid goes, chill, not your fault. Monster looks shook, but listens. He tells him the weirdos in robes are the real villains, so stop stressing out. Don't promises to totally delete them all from existence. Monster twitches, stands up. Doan puts his blade away. You're welcome. Still crying a river. The guy admits they made him eat his own daughter. Yep. Walking away, he mumbles about forced cannibalism, guts, and all. But then, major vibe shift in him. Aura turns evil again. He growls, I'm starving. Scary stuff. Dude snaps back to Crazy Town. Tries to jump Doan from behind. Total cheap shot. Doan senses it. Bites his lip. Annoyed. Sword is out. Before the claw lands, just to put the poor guy out of his misery. Doan spins and slashes. Head goes flying. Body splashes into the gross sewer water. System pings. You toasted the beast that 8-year-old body. Weird way to find a corpse. Doan glares at the mess, cursing his luck. System asks, absorb this. Cut back to the Raven's Nest, late afternoon. Sun is dipping low. Pretty girl inside spots him. You back already? Kid walks in looking totally bummed out. Mood is 0. She is like, rough day? Need a drink? Doan just tosses a sack on the table. Caught your guy. She peeks inside the bag. And near lip. Doesn't say a word, just looks grossed out. Okay, so the goblin story was real. These guys aren't joking. Santa grabs a coin pouch. From the back, nice work, kid. Hands over 15 shillings. Girl looks kinda embarrassed. You finished fast, but don't expect a bonus or anything. Doan is still sad about the sewer drama. The cash is fine. Then he pulls another bag. From his pocket, Sienna's eyes pop. Wait, what is in that one? Stone-faced, he explains the bag's contents. It's full of the murdered victim's stuff, which totally freaks the girl out. She stares at the bag, confused why he's even handing it to her. Doan clarifies, he needs a delivery service to get these back to the families. He tries to tip her, but she shuts that down immediately. She's not some shady he can keep his cash. He actually cracks a relieved smile, glad she's decent. Thanks, Santa. He turns to bail, saying, see ya, but she snaps back that for the 10th time. He needs to visit during actual business hours. Doan shoots back that he might consider it. ... if she served real booze instead of that tea she uses to try and kill him. She watches him go, sighing with a grin. Guy's actually got a heart. She wonders if this is for real though. Definitely not the vibe of your typical selfish mercenary. Santa muses that he's not just some dumb hero playing Justice Warrior, either. Now, she's hooked. Glancing at the bag, she admits he's fascinating and can definitely handle her requests. Anyway, later that night, ... we're back at the inn with our main man. He's busy scribbling away in his notebook. Again, turns out, it's a logbook. Neutralize future disaster demon. Secured corpse. Just another Tuesday, he pops open his status window. Checking the gains, he sees he unlocked a sweet new skill. Night vision. His stats have skyrocketed, too. Just confirms if he needs to farm more bodies. ASAP. That's the price of fixing the apocalypse heading their way. There's a whole laundry list of disasters incoming. Like a witch coven, planning to torch a city and roast the locals. Plus, those shady cultists running twisted experiments in the shadows. Can't forget the vampire army. ... marching to wipe the empire off the map. And the cherry on top? The evil god, public enemy number 1. He recalls that monster ranting about some masked figures. Doan slams the notebook shut. Totally annoyed, he stands up. Gotta do what he can for now. If he ignores the Palace cult, they'll become a massive headache later. But before that happens, a wicked grin spreads across his face. He's going to dismantle them, piece by piece. Next morning, he hits up the Raven's Tavern for new quests. The bartender is polishing a glass when something grabs his attention. Doan slides onto a stool. ... and orders a whiskey straight up. The guy rings a bell and slides a drink over. Doan downs it in one go. But then Sienna pops up out of nowhere to ruin the vibe. How many times do I have to tell you? Come during business hours? Don's like, if there's booze and a buyer, we're open. She rolls her eyes. You talk too much, kid. So, who's on the hit list today? Doan asks. Chill, she says. No killing. Santa points back. Office. Now we need a serious chat. He freezes, looking totally sketch, having zero clue what talk implies. She spins around. Got a special gig for a certain VIP? She laughs, calling him Low Path Hunter as she struts in. Inside, Dallin's confused. Low Path? What? Who's that? Sienna pours tea. Dude, seriously. You didn't know. It's your street name because you're always creeping in alleys, catching bad guys. You earned that tag, bro. Fits you perfectly. Say laughs. Doan thinks back on his grind. You've been doing the dirty jobs nobody else wants all week. She notes. Doan snaps back. There's tons of hunters here. Yeah, but you're the one turning heads. He dodges the compliment. Whatever. What's the job? She grabs some papers off the wall. She waves them with a grin. Happy birthday, kiddo. He reads it and blinks. Magic Tower. No way. He's totally lost. Santa nods. Yep. You read that right. The Ogaya Magic Tower in the Silver Zone hired you. Not the whole place, she clarifies. Just one big shot mage. Dawn's baffled. I've been a hunter for like ... a week. How do they even know I exist? VIP client probably hyped you up. She shrugs. Cena chimes in. To catch their eye, you might ... rubbed elbows with someone famous. Meet any bigwigs? Snap. Sienna gets it. Wait, I know exactly who. That quiet commander guy from the Bronze Guard. Doan nods. Oh yeah, definitely him. He's plugged into the tower, Cena says. I'd kill to have him on my team. Doan sips his tea. Alright, spill the deets on the job. Later, moonlight hits Doan as he checks the file. The gig is about finding an old mage's missing apprentice, vanished in the sewers. As he strolls, he mutters, big payout for a clue. Double if I bring him back. He smirks. Mage's baby, they're students. This could score me a huge favor. Basically, he knows the tower is going to pay up big time. Walking along, he remembers Sienna, promised a pro guide. Suddenly, a shadow pops up. You Dan? The Low Path Hunter? It's a girl, beaming hiya. She claimed she'd be the tour guide for this. Name's Penny, the sewer pro. One, look at the guide. And our hero's totally floored. I mean, she looks like a toddler, down in the muck, waving a torch around. Dawn asks, is this the city's basement? She nods, bragging. She runs the whole show. Dude realizes this girl is honestly super obsessed with her gig. Penny's all proud. Dawn warns about creeps. Doesn't that freak you out? Totally, she shrugs. But hey, the payout is sweet. Sweating bullets. Our guy's digging her vibe. Kid's got crazy energy. Dawn asks, how long? Been down here about 3 years. Penny chirps back. Trekking on? Dawn's shook. Most quit in a year. This kid's a legit veteran. Suddenly, the girl freezes. We're near the X on the map, she says. Dawn glances sideways. Is this where that mage kid vanished? She nods. Yes. Then, boom, huge sewer room full of weird statues and creepy nooks. As our hero looks, ... He recalls the lost kid is an Elga's Earth mage. Rock power. So being underground gives him a massive buff. If he's the ancient mage's star pupil, the kid ... must be OP. Getting snatched takes serious effort. Means the culprit is him. Dawn stares off, picturing some mystery villain. This dude was a major legend. ... Once he peaks, he's a one-man army. But right now, his powers aren't fully baked yet. To save the future, Dawn needs to end him ASAP. Sloshing through, he spots something shiny in the muck. Bingo! Grabs at a necklace. He shows Penny. When time she'll charm for students, she notes. Dawn already knew. Peering closer, he sees ... The crystal's dark. Juice is totally drained, meaning this was the kid's last stand. They eye the ruins. Eyeing a spot, Dawn gets all quiet, figuring out the next move. Wait, here he ... tells Penny. Hey, you good in a scrap? He glares ahead, stands tall, and draws steel. I can hold my own, she says. Good enough. Dawn nods. Hero mode on. Shield up. Sword ready for a mess. Shield and torch in one hand. He steps in front of Penny. Stay behind me. Okay, he commands. Shadows shift at the entrance. Our guy's locked in. A bunch of gross, walking frog monsters waddle out. Yikes. Tongues, flapping to beasts. Drool, looking at them like a snack. Dallin eyes the frog dudes. Lelevo trash, but smart, which makes him a total pain to fight. Gred. Checks Penny. Ger's got her shank ready. She's solid. Boom. Frogs rush. Our guy? Trying to delete him IRL. Dawn's like, nope, sort of. One gets close, cut in half before it blinked. The other two try to jump him while he's busy. Sneaky jerks. But Dawn, zero, chill. Too easy, slash. Instant frog sushi. Penny freaks pointing, yo, look at that. Dawn peeps ahead. Sees a frog with a weird tool. Fancy. Plus, a whole squad flooding in. Big trouble. Wipes goo off his face. Laughs at the gore. Just a company. Cute. Grins like a psycho. Let's dance. Whatever, he says. Round 2, fight. Charges in. You're all getting wrecked. Post-brawl. Penny's shook. Blade drippin'. Chick's totally speechless. Sewer's basically a frog graveyard now. Bloody Dawn checks in. You alive? She nods. Thanks to you. Yeah. Cleaner for 3 years. I handle toads. Freeze. He barks suddenly. She stops. Confused. He steps up to guard her. Whoosh. Surprise. Sword. He blocks sparely. Drops the blade. Grabs his axe. Yeet mode. Hurls it into the pitch-black void. By axe. Thwack. Monster screech echoes back. Got him? How'd you know? Penny gasps. Freaked. They get aggro hunting people. He lies. Truth. Night vision. Cheats activated. Saw 2 left. Last one's booking it. Plan. Chase it. Layers close. Simple. She stares at our boy. Blushing hard. Thinks he's total op status. He pokes her. Daydream later. Move. She nods. After a long trek. Found a secret throne room. Spooky. Scared. Penny clings to him. Look. Points at the seat. Mage on the throne. Staff in hand. Finally, meeting the boss. That sketchy mage kicked out of the magic tower. Derek chillin' on his throne. Asks who this guy is and if he touched his science project. Dawn figures this mage is one of those bosses who totally wrecked him before. So the kid tells Derek that yeah, he wasted the rat guy just 'cause he was walking by. The mage calls cap normal people don't take deep sewer walks for fun. He slams his staff on the floor, making a huge racket, saying, you shouldn't have chased my frogs. Then, from the nasty water, a bunch of frog dudes pop up. Penny starts shaking, gripping her knife, looking totally terrified. She sees a whole army of aggro frog guys ready to throw hands. Backing up, she's like, if these things hit the city, it's game over. But Dawn stops her retreating, catches her eye, and makes her blush. Smooth. Dawn gives her a confident, I got this look, to calm her down. Seeing our hero, she realizes he can smash these frogs, so no need to panic. Looking totally psycho. Derek yells at his frog squad to rip him apart, showing off huge teeth. The frogs charge in to wreck Don and Penny. Don't stand still as the frog army rushes him, ready for the kill. Sword bloody, he tells Penny to chill behind him while he handles business. He starts walking toward the enemies, telling Penny, I'll wrap this up quick. Stone-faced, Don says, if the summoner croaks, the frogs go to facing hundreds with just a sword. He says, only one answer. Swinging his blade, super fast, slicing left and right like a blur. All you see is green blood splattering everywhere. One frog loses an arm before he even knows what hit him. Still looking scary cold, our main guy shreds frogs, saying he'll clear the path to get the summoner. With one step, the kid jumps forward, wiping out frogs before they can even blink. He dashes, and a frog lunges, mouth wide open, showing huge sharp teeth, trying to eat him. Looking disgusted, the boy splits its jaw in two instantly. Gross. Landing down, a bunch of frogs circle him, blocking his escape route. One-handed, he clenches a fist and punches two frogs out cold. He spots a frog trying to sneak attack from behind and slices it in half instantly. The fight rages on, monsters attacking from all sides because they lack actual skill. Don's skills are cracked. He's wrecking them, but Snappy's sword breaks. Way too many frogs. They swarm him until his shield shatters. Now he's bare knuckle. The frog dudes think they've won, but Don's ready to throw hands and delete them all. He triggers his brawling skill, screaming he's gonna wipe every last slimy creep off the map. Monsters try to jump him, but he's smashing heads and gut-punching them into oblivion. Stone-cold face, fists stained red. Zero mercy, just total savage mode. One massive gut shot sends a frog flying, knocking down the others like bowling pins. Wizard Derek watches, totally freaking out. Don's power level is scary, and he looks totally unhinged. Watching his summon get wrecked by fists, he's wondering what kind of beast this kid is. While he's spacing out, he doesn't see Don charging in, axe ready to cancel his subscription to life. Too late to block his staff defense. Useless. A purple energy streak follows the axe, slash clean cut, top to bottom. Dust clears, and boom, hero planted a critical hit on the wizard's head. Guys, mumbling final words. Job done, don't size, relieved, it's finally over. System pops up, wizard defeated. Turns out the guy was a Sellsword, turned cultist weirdo. Don has a flashback to when he fought Derek. That dude had dragon blood and was a total lab rat. Thinking back, it was gross. He roasts the defeated enemy for the trauma. Then the UI asks if he wants to loot the body for skills and stats. He reaches out, opens his hand, and spams the harvest skill to buff his stats. Green energy surges through him, pumping up all his stats, especially energy and mana. He unlocks Dragon Blood, Regen and old skill starting at 6% mastery. Suddenly, veins pop, and searing pain shoots through him like fire. A golden aura explodes out, coating him in shiny energy. Penny and the frogs are shook, having zero clue what's going on. For a sec, he just stands there, buzzing with all that new OP power. Feeling cocky, he spins around, eyeing the frogs. You guys ready to get wrecked? Flexing his power, he's got the frogs shaking in their boots. Terrified of getting wiped, they nope out of there fast. Don sighs, closing his eyes to think for a sec. But Penny shouts his name, snapping him out of it. He looks at her. He walks over to Penny. He warns her to back off, but she rushes in, checking if Don's good. Spooked by the gore, Penny stammers, asking if he's actually human. The guy just blinks, totally confused. Say what? Penny mumbles that normal humans don't squash dozens of frogs. Don drops a vague question. Clueless, she asks where that came from. Our main guy shrugs. He was just bored. She nods, but admits she has something to say, blushing hard and fidgeting with her fingertips. She confesses he's special, even if they just met. Turning beet red, the girl whispers that being near him makes anything seem possible. She adds she doesn't care about his species sheet, she just likes him for him. But Dallin cuts in, looking super awkward. Whoa, hang on. The guy clarifies he wasn't asking about her feelings. He meant where the mage hid the hot. She turns tomato red instantly. Mortified, she snaps back. Be specific or I won't get it, dummy. Meanwhile, inside a creepy church, decked out with inverted crosses, a group is chatting. Four cloaked figures meet. One announces the emergency. Derek is toast. The room goes silent with shock. And someone asks how a top-tier mage like him got taken out. The leader admits Derek was the rookie, but definitely no pushover. What? Masked guy asks about the 500 Everyone gasps. The leader replies, half got wiped out. The rest fled, leaving Derek to die alone. Someone asks if the city guards pulled that off. Others guess the silent company, but get a hard no on that too. The mage running the show reveals a solo fighter did it. One masked figure freezes up. They bicker about why that idiot Derek grab the elder's apprentice. Suddenly, another apostle walks in. Everyone bows down instantly to greet the grand apostle in charge. He's masked and smiling like the rest, but struts with an elegant, powerful swagger that screams boss battle. He takes his throne and tells them to chill, it's just a mercenary. The masked lady, who is panicking, asks if one hireling really soloed a monster army. But the chief apostle tells her to zip it, terrifying her into silence. He explains he's bumping up the timeline. Derek's death changes nothing. One apostle, hearing the grand plan is live, realizes things are about to get real. Then the big boss orders funds released to buy secret drug ingredients and recruit anyone who can swing a sword. Ticked off, he says if it flops, they gotta squeeze M all dry. Use the cash flow, since that's why they're leveling up. Dude claims nada changed. The villain arc starts with M. Those 7 walls. Gonna crumble any SE. He yells to prep for the crash while his fan club bows down, soaking it all in. A bit later, at Along Gap El Gaius, Magic Tower pops up, Bronze Branch. Don's chilling in a plush chair, eyeing a posh clock ticking away. He recalls Sienna saying the quest giver wanted a face-to-face to drop some bonus loot. Stoked, he scopes the room, thinking there's zero shame in grabbing extra perks. That's why he's here. Bored waiting? He pops his status window open instantly. Checks his new skill, Dragon Blood, Regen. Sick. It's a classic dragon perk applied to humans. But man, it drains stamina like crazy to use. Crashed for a full day after the sewer op. Seems his Dragon Blood is just a diluted mix, not pure. He figures spamming it in a brawl would totally wipe him out fast. Suddenly, a bearded redhead dude busts in, apologizing for the accidental wait. It's Felver Valentino Elgas's Arg Tower Mage. Says sorry, been ages since he visited, had to catch up. Felver orders tea, asks if Doan wants in. Yup, he says. The geezer chatters, but our hero tunes him out. Catching a whiff of what? Missed 4 years coffee. Peeping the cup, he sees it's the real deal. Total hype mode, unlocked. He starts chugging instantly, loving it. Old guy admits he didn't peg him for a tea fan. Felver offers to ship a bag of beans to the Raven's Nest if he's down. Kid agrees, saying thanks. Guy says sorry for the hassle, introing as an Elgas Tower, Elder Mage, and Arts Grandmaster. Also teaches Tommy, the dude don't saved. Recalling the save, he asks if the kid's okay. Felver thanks him. Tommy's only good 'cause of him. Hero asks if he knew why the creep went down there. Elder explains the villain just lucked out tracking his student. Felver notes his student was clueless. He was just bait. Big guy thanks him again for soloing the fraud squad. Can't believe he's just silver rank. Doan says, don't judge folks, buy a badge. Mage agrees, everyone's got lore. He tosses a coin bag. Rewards inside, 100 silver, equal to 1 gold. Smirking, the dude looks cocky and says he's adding a bonus reward. He grabs a fancy sack, slams it on the table, and says, present. The wizard claims inside is a Regen potion. Figured a sword junkie like me needs it. But then he drops a bomb. Won't need it. Why? Dragon blood? I froze. How'd he know? Seeing me panic, the mage tells the kid, Tuchili's not threatening me. He's making a deal. Edgy and ready to scrap. I relax a bit. What's the offer? Felver totally shifts his vibe and posture, and lets me pick a whole different prize. Score. Sun's down, chat's done, and Doan finally bails. Felver said I chose, right? Probably beats the potion anyway. Walking off. I'm still stunned. Never guessed he was pro enough to sniff out my dragon blood. I recall the fight ending. My axe, total confetti. Don's bummed. That was his last tool. Shield and sword, gone. Penny notices. Can't fight with scraps. You need to go shopping, she says. Looking shy, she admits her uncle is a blacksmith and asks if I want to go. Since I'm special, I get a discount. Back to now. The boy says if it's cheap, I'm there. Not like I have a choice. Cut to the Bronze District. Forge Street is packed. Walking through, Alan mutters that he thinks this is the spot, but who knows. Suddenly, I look over and see something wild. Some poor guy gets yeeted out of the shop Penny talked about, hands tied behind his back. Inside, a blonde thug kicks him out, yelling he messed up. The smith begs him to leave Penny alone and curses him. Watching the drama, Doan clicks on. What's up? That guy is definitely the uncle. The attacker walks out. Should have paid the interest? Old man. The blonde jerk sneers. If you don't have cash, your niece can pay the debt. Penny looks terrified. Limping up, the smith growls. Say that again, you're dead. Our hero watches the brawl, analyzing it, then it hits me. That's Leanne Arakeen, famous mithril refiner. Huge deal. I explain that by the second half. This guy levels up and crafts the best weapons ever. He's a top tier on PC, totally essential for the late game strategy. Snap back to now Blondie whips out a blade, demanding a hand as payment. Yikes. Sudden plot twist. Someone grabs his wrist. Dude flips out, like, who dares? Hero swipes the steel straight from the goon's grip. If Gramps' hand is worth 1 gold coin, what's the price on a fresh one? Cue the bad guy, screaming his lungs out. Fast forward a bit. Cut to a cold brew. Smithy's thanking our guy for saving him, and his old dude mentions his niece hyped up the hero before. Need some new gear while you sip that? Bad news time. The Smith's eyes can't craft anything cool. He's drowning in shop debt. Obviously. Hero wipes foam off his lip. Okay, but what's debt got to do with hammering metal? Smithy gets salty, slamming the table. They repossessed my tools. As interest? Genius. The deal. Slave away for them for 5 years to clear the tab. But closing his own shop means game over for a local smith. Even debt-free, his only future would be grinding in someone else's workshop forever. Hero figures he stood his ground, so they sent goons to scare him. Smithy ignores the logic, just grumbling about hating the Telia creeps. Hero's ears perk up, face-bombing. He tells Doan, if you're here for them, get lost. Suddenly, Doan cuts in, asking, how much is the bill? Old guy can't believe it. Doan grins, totally chill. I'll cover it for you. As he walks off, Smithy panics. Wait, it's way too much cash, kid. Doan just waves casually, tossing back, relax, there's always a loophole. Just make me some sick gear when I get back. He grabs a random 4-jacks on the way out. For the mission, glancing back with a smirk, he yells, consider this a deposit. Oh, and before bouncing, he thanks him for the brew. The dwarf just stares, totally stunned. He asks his niece, who is that guy? She stays quiet, blushing. She mumbles, is he even human? Anyway, he's amazing. Night falls. Somewhere else, we spot a convoy of wagons rolling in with snacks and booze. A dude asks, Bulkma, what's the kid want? Hero hits Bulkma up. Can I borrow a fistful of gold coins? Man is speechless, just eyeing the kid like he's crazy. Later indoors, someone holds a coin bag. Dallin calls it a fee. Flashback to when Doan was smooth-talking Bulkma about a relative's debt. Noble asks why. Popping grapes in the rich guy's crib. Hero lies. Just some messy business loan that kept, ... It snowballed until the debt was like 50 times bigger. Dawn's like, so, can I borrow the gold? And Bulkma's all iffy about it. Puffin' on a smoke, Bulkma asks who the guy actually owes. Doan goes, it's the Telia crew. Hearing that, the dwarf pulls a sour face, totally grossed out. Suddenly, Mr. Noble is all, fine, I'll front the cash. Munchin' an apple? Doan notes the guy's got beef with Telia, too. What's the catch? Our hero asks. Noble smirks, sharp kid, stubbing out his cigar. He spills that Tilia's money is filthy. So, he sets a meetup with Doan for tomorrow. Meanwhile, Doan breaks it down. Tilia's a front for, weirdo. Those creeps run basically all the business. The Bronze Zone, it's like their main playground. Doan didn't want to clash yet, but now he's got a smash. He'd square up right now, except they're technically a legit business, so a public brawl is super risky. Gotta save Levin first. Then, a thought hits him like a bus. Looking up, he spots something seriously bad. Right over 11 and pennies? Smithy. The Telia jerks are already moving on the shop. To save his squad, he books it straight for the forge. He spots a bunch of goons, packing shivs and bats, ready to end Penny and her uncle. One guy tells Gramps to behave and just come along quietly. Hammer in hand, Pops refuses, swearing to crush him all. The thug just starts roasting. The smith actin' scared of the tool. Total sarcasm. Backed by his posse, the lead goon points out that even if Gramps gets lucky, he can't solo the whole mob. Past his prime, the old guy shakes, knowing he's toast. The boss thug screams get M, calling Penny a total witch. While he's at it, but before he moves, an axe comes whizzing in. It slices clean through, chopping the dude's hand right off. Another lackey tries to yell thereunder, attack, but Doan teleports behind him. Snap. Game over. As they stare at the kid, Doan says he's made a choice. Foot on the corpse. He prices their hands at 1 silver coin each. Since the bounty was set, he went to collect. Combat skills. Online. First guy's face got crumpled like an empty soda can. Next dude took a gut check to rethink his life choices. Third guy had a sword, but still got wrecked. Those losers didn't stand a chance. The mob tried to fight back, but honestly, too many idiots, not enough space to move. One genius yelled, "Don't panic, he's got no weapon." I grinned, cute, like I needed a blade to wreck this crew. When the backup arrived, their jaws basically hit the pavement. The street was totally redecorated with a carpet of nap-taking goons. One guy crawled off whimpering that a literal beast jumped him. I stepped on his neck. Game over, but lights out. The two newcomers were like, "Who trashed these losers?" I just tossed him a bag with 26 coins. Keep the change. Dude couldn't process that. A kid cleaned house for him? I shrugged. Hey, never hurts to be. Buds with a smith. Just forged my gear, and we're cool. Glanced down and spotted one corpse acting sus. Grabbed him up. Nice try, playing dead. Actor boy. This wasn't a robbery. I needed to know what his boss was plotting. Even while dangling there, the punky kid played tough. Wrong move. Slap. Wake up call. My patience tanked. I told him this was his final shot. Spill what those idiots were yapping about. He muttered. Grab everyone. I pressed harder. Grab who? Crafters, sellers, Anyone in the biz? Snatch M or 0M. Just needed the boss's name. Then snap. His hand twisted gross. Midmorph, he wheezed. Tilia's shop owner sent us. Then his face ripped into a freaky wolf grin. Nope, not dealing with that. I slammed him down fast. He was seconds away from going full beast mode. Spotted an axiom. A-N-D, chop. Now he's a headless rug. Smithy was clueless. It's a demi-monster, I explained. Guess they cracked shifting tech way faster than I thought. Scary. I turned to leave, lock up, barricade the doors, and ghost for a few days. Smithy asked where I was headed. I recalled Tilia's place, full of nasty secrets. Gala's Emporium, I said. Think they're hunting a rich client of mine. I'll handle it, then come back for my shiny new gear. Meanwhile, under a massive, fancy chandelier, he mused. Don't visiting Tia's shop. Weird coincidence. Place was always sketchy, but now they're hoarding supplies. Not just business, they're prepping for a war or something. Reminded him of that guy asking, what's the play here? Details later. Morning coffee is way too important to ruin. Then, crash. Someone smashed right through the window. Scared him stiff. It was Doan's talk about a dramatic entrance. Before he could ask why, Doan screamed, get down. Arrows crashed the party, smashing the last good windows. Dude freaked out, asking what the heck was up. Doan exhaled. Wha? Close call. A second later, toast. Talk later, right now. Kiss the floor under the bed. Fast reflexes engaged, he yeeted his axe at a rooftop sniper. Bullseye. That guy's face is now an axe stand. Leaving, he barked. Don't move a muscle till I'm back. Doan grinned. Free XP time. The other guy was totally lost. He vaulted out the window, aiming for the nearest roof. Landed right next to the sneaky archer's pint-sized corpse. Axeface wore a white mask. Doan scanned the scene. A whole squad of mask-wearing creeps popped up. Rooftops crawled with looks like the main varsity team. White and gold masks, moving fast. Definitely not here to chat. Game face on. He squeezed his axe handle tight. Clock sticking before their big bad plan kicks off. Incoming missile. He swatted it away like a pro fly swatter. Standing still is for statues. He got moving. A few clueless goons stood there, looking shook. They swung at air, hitting nothing but his whack. First one down. He zoomed instantly to the next Vic. This time, clean slice. Head, meet pavement. Down to 3. Whoops. Another projectile incoming. Axe block. Hey, one yelled. That's the guy who fragged Eric. Dude strolled up calmly. Stare down contest. Rooftop edition. Mask guy realized it was Doan and got thirsty. I want a sip. Nothing tastes better than hero juice, or something gross like that. Oh, snap. A silver mask. A boss fight? It was Hen, that cheap vampire spamming poison moves. In the original game, dodging him was nightmare mode. Now, Doan was hyped to try. No backup coming. Just one. Feeling cocky, he aimed for a one-hit kill. Vamp smirked, waiting. Doan paused. Oh, totally a trap. He scrambled to deflect the flying spikes. Too reckless, should have chilled. This body isn't leveled up enough yet. Ding. System alert pops up. Found him. The creep chopping people up at night. And that last attack? Definitely not a solo gig. Vamp boy had backup from those leftover goons. Fine. Gotta clear the trash mobs first. Vamp lunged, whining he couldn't wait to drink up. The lackey struck in sync, like a choreographed dance. Surrounded, please. He glitched out and spawned right on top of him. His axe introduced itself to target number 1. No time to chill. He kept the beatdown going. Hits were surgical. Snipers were toast, leaving just the grunts. He wound up to hurl his axe at him. Speed blitz. One dude got wrecked before blinking. Time for the finisher. He popped a combat skill. Axe zoomed in and dropped him like flies. Easy peasy. Last guy, screamed Monster. Doan grinned. Just one left. 0 chill. Axe swinging. But whoops, ambush from behind. Panic block. Used the axe to swat the incoming junk. Surprise. Those things were packed with nasty poison. Big yikes. He tried to bail on the smoke, but inhaled it anyway. Vamp laughed. No normie human survives that toxic brew. He held back the gasp because of his buddies, but sacrificing one guy now, totally worth it. Still, Fanface was glad to avoid a duel. Doan wrecked the squad. So, he had to make sure Don was permanently deleted. Being undead means poison is just fresh air, but he figured the human was done for. Crept through the smog to the body. Wait. That's not him. Corpse had a gold mask on. Dawn's already behind him. Axe ready to party. Vamp was shook. Alive. How? He barely dodged the first swing. His brain is glitching. How did he tank that poison? Only answer. Guy ain't human. Total beast. Then Dawn grumbles. My eyes are stinging. Flashback to boot camp tear gas drills. Vamp's clueless. He starts slashing wildly. Just wants this dude dead. Ace. Dawn scythe. Totally unimpressed. Same lame moves every time. Dragon blood healed him. Dawn stomped, dashing right in Vamp's face. Even worse, Dawn's hand was crushing his windpipe. Pinned down Dawn. Any famous last word? He wheezed. How'd you survive the gas? Human? Then screamed. It's literally impossible. Inside voice. Dawn snapped, crushing his neck. Weak Vamp. Lucky. A pro would have gone bat mode and vanished. Next up, found a corpse of some wannabe hero. System pinged. Loot body. Clicked yes. Scored Vamp powers. +3 strength and jump boost. Meanwhile, the guy inside was freaking out. Assassins, not on his bingo card. Broad daylight too. He stood there, clutching a sword, peeked outside, trying to chill. Hey, head still on. Staring at the view, wondering, was that a fever dream? Better play it safe and buzz the guards, just in case. Reaching for the door, praying dawns. Okay, bam. Huge noise behind him. Spins around to fight, but he hits the floor. Downstairs, Dawn's like, my bad, too strong. Back up. He goes to tell the boss he's done, but finds him code. Poisoned. Maybe? But foaming at the mouth? Super weird flex. Someone barges in like, yo, what's the racket? It's Sienna. She figures Dawn made the mess. Classic. Still, he's like, why are you even here? She brought the tea. The info kind. So the trio chills, sipping tea and chatting. He asks if she's the Raven's Nest snitch. She's like, duh. Shocked she has a spy here. But how else would she find Dawn? She eyes him and speaks up. Got the info you wanted? Found out who the Silver Mask crew runs with. After the sewer mess, he thought she'd be slow. Guess not. Girls got skills. Way more than he thought. But is it legit? He asks. Who are they? Evil cultists, she says. Apostles of Regression. Oh, and bonus info. That book, just Tilia's shop ledger. He checks it. Tilia's boss is a cult executive. Lately, they've been hoarding crazy amounts of meds, metal, and weapons, stashed in some dusty warehouse they ignored for ages. Dawn knows the spot. Didn't think they were hiding there? Mass dudes, kidnapped peeps, and goons were everywhere. Looks like they planned to morph thugs into monsters and force artisans to make gear. Basically, the pre-game lobby for a war. Any news on the Bronze Guards? She's tight with the Silent Commander. She talked to him. He seems down to help, but can't raid without proof. Plus, not his turf. But for no biggie. Just gotta give the guards a reason to crash the party. Chat over. Night falls on the city. Some guy's whining. It's freezing. Winter sucks. Why send loyal Should have sent the hired goons. But nope, they're stuck guarding this place. Buddy says, quiet. A gold mask hears you. You're dead. Apostles are grinding hard. Big plans start soon. Suddenly, his buddy drops. Thud. Guys, clueless. Dawn's right behind him. Dawn looms over the kid, asking about the white and gold masks. Since he already zeroed the rest, kid's like, no way. Dawn didn't wait for an invite. He just clocked the guy. That took care of those two bozos. Plus, 30 other goons were lurking. Most were chilling on roofs or in alleys. But honestly, they were all snoozing, so nobody could block his vibe. He yeeted off the roof, landed like a ninja. Total silence. Streets were empty, no creeps or wanderers out to slay. Probably got snatched and turned into beasts. Since they rushed the plan, they quit hiding in the dark. Earlier, he got a text saying the Bronze Guards were down to help. The Strahd crashed the pad, wrecked the baddies, and light a match. Once it blazed, guards nearby would rush in to play hero. That gave them the keys to the shady proof. On paper, totally flawless. Just one tiny thing bugged him right now. This place had 5 stories, and the tile boss had to be in there. If things got chaotic, would the dude bail or hold his ground? Whatever went down, Dawn was ready to throw hands. He loved stomping these guys. Took a sec to chill. Worst case scenario, we lose the shop's deeds. To skip that drama, he picked plan B. Time to move. Dawn sprinted like a clean Olympian on energy drinks. Steps were legit. He wound up a jump with his fresh new skill. Easy peasy. He almost reached the penthouse. Mid-air, he picked an entry point. Fist cocked, ready to knock. Smash went the glass. And boom, he was in. Been a hot minute. Saw some cells, but 0 guards on duty. This jail held the half-months. They rattled the bars trying to bounce, but no dice. Seeing this gave him major bad flashbacks. Some dude yelled Doan was too loud and claimed they saw God or whatever. But for once, he couldn't believe his peepers. He asked if Doan used hacks. It was Achilles, the shop owner. Doan was like, I don't do magic, but go buy some glasses, rich boy, and ... fight. At first, they were totally tied. Doan was cracked, but Achilles matched him. Blades banged, and sparks flew. He knew Doan was way buff for a normal dude. No wonder the other goons got wrecked by him. If you said he was a giant, he'd buy it. Doan wasn't sweating it. Shoved him back with one hit. Achilles gasped, remembering why the boss rushed things. He had to delete this glitch. So, he started mumbling dark magic. Doan clocked the spell instantly. A red glow popped up, waking the half-monsters nearby. In the cages, the freaks buffed up like they chugged energy drinks. Spell needed a hot sec to load fully. Doan had to move fast. He chucked his axe at Mask Guy for a distraction, but Sword Boy braced himself to block. One whack, and he batted the axe right back to Doan. Doan jumped in. Zero chill. Big hit, but the sword stopped him again. Still, dude felt Doan's crazy OP strength. Doan came from below, aiming straight for that mask. =8, that hit. No blocking that. Smash went the mask. Total destruction. Didn't phase him though. He swung back instantly. Intense, glaring contest, while Doan went pro mode, with the AC. Akio was low-key panicking but desperate. They charged again, just a blur of clashes, both moving super fast. Dawn's axe work was seriously stressing him out. One hand on the axe meant a free fist. Aquils got clocked. He reeled, basically coughing up a lung. Doan watched him drop. Akil wheezed, trying to reboot. That should have been plenty of time. He spoke, and boom blue flames flared up behind him. Monsters were losing it, until the flames chilled them out. Brief peace. Then the monsters went full psycho again, busted right out of their cages. Doan waited for them to get cozy. System ping. Found a mage using a physical sword style. Sweet XP, delivery service. The mob swarmed him. They tried hard to surround him completely. But slash a seat, Aquils couldn't believe Doan wasn't tired. His secret armor got wrecked by Dawn's fists earlier. Aqua stared, figuring out his next move. Gripping his sword, he knew only one way to beat this beast. Gotta pull a sneak attack. While Doan fought, he cheesed a night order, ult, with all his might. In this shape, he had one shot only, just waiting for the vibe to be right. Saw a gap, rushed the mob. Gonna skewer that jerk? Or so he thought. Doan looked clueless. Back turned, blade got close. Aquas thought, gotcha. But close up, the axe snipped his sword tip right off. THAT wasn't supposed to be possible. The hit wrecked the axe handle too. Doan didn't get the crit, and Aquils was just confused. Down goes Aquilus, hurt bad. Doan was salty, his axe was busted. Then he started coughing, blood gushing like a fountain. Dragon Region activate. Don checked his stats. Still stuck at level 6. But my stats? Absolutely cracked. Body's glitching, outpump strength too hard just to stay balanced. Gotta play safe. One last boss mechanic to deal with. System pinged target down. Found a mage, rocking a weird sword build. Loot prompt pops up. Yo, wanna bag this body? While looting, I thought a magic sword hybrid would be OP. Nope, trash tier. Looting complete. Sweet. Snag the stats. Plus, to mana, +1 stamina. Jeet. New skill unlocked. Fire arrow. Things are heating up. Brain download complete. I suddenly know Kung Fu. Fire magic. Felt super trippy. Is this what being a wizard feels like? Mana goes Baron Boon, holding a fireball in my palm. Sick skill. Time to act like a total pirate. Let's go. The building was already lit. Literally on fire. Guards outside camping. The exits. Mobs getting deleted instantly. Masked dudes were trapped. No clipping through walls today. Mid-fight guards kept holding the W key, pushing hard, sweating hard to get the dub. One guy raged in chat, then got jump scared by Gold Mask. Dropped his guard, got floor tanked immediately. Rookie mistake. Looking like a straight-up game over for him. Tried to ninja loot a weapon. Mask guy stomped it. Denied? Out of plays? Thought he was about to staring at the death screen. Screaming, not like this. Last second clutch save came out of nowhere. Dude was confused. Lag? Hacks. What just happened? Roof camper saved the day. It was the MVP. It's Stone. Saw the mess. Decided to carry. Still got ammo too. Knew he had to make a play. Round's not over yet. Gripped arrows like spears. Stance wide. Yeet mode engaged. Full focus. Can't whiff this shot, or it's over. Full send. Through 3 arrows, at once. Multi-shit. They flew like missiles straight for the dirt. Boom. Huge ow damage. Guards froze, like their screens crashed. Total poggers moment. Unbelievable scene. Not done yet. Leader spammed attack. To finish the wipe, Doan saw the win condition. Ease a clap, he figured. Grabbed his axe. Time to stop camping and join the mosh pit. Charged up a super jump to drop in superhero landing incoming. Dove down like a pro. aiming to gank a nearby enemy. Machova Street looked like a bandwave hit. Bodies everywhere. Now the quest was rescuing the noobs, who hadn't fully rage quit life yet. Realized he needed potions bad. Should have looted that old mage. Could have healed the party if he wasn't so cheap. Rip. But the gig he picked, totally gonna let him save way more peeps later on. Yo! Someone hollered. Finally, meeting the big shot, Merkdown, about time. It was Goen, head honcho of the Silent Guard crew. 'Cause of Don's intel, they crushed it. Dude said thanks for the whole squad. This boss had mad skills. Way cooler than expected. Def friend material. Don says hi, noting he heard Goen hyped him up to all. Nice move. Liked the guy, especially after the Sienna stuff. Solid dude. After today, Goen's skills were totally popping off again. No doubt. Wished him luck. But right after yapping, Don felt kinda gross. Oh, maybe he went to ham. Dude definitely needed a nap. Like, right now. So he was like, peace out. I'm dipping. Goen's like, you're buff. Bo, wear armor. Bro, anything can happen. Don's like, chill, grabbing some, soon. Next morning, he's strutting through the city. Early bird vibes. Talked to the shop boss. Said the spot should be nearby. Somewhere. Looked up bingo. The smith's fresh new forge. Ready for action? Walks in. Asks, how's the grind going? Chick was stoked to see him. Total surprise. Visit. She yells for Unk. Don's here. Timing. Absolutely chef's kiss. Smithy just finished Don's custom order. Sweet. Eyed the chest. Said thanks. Smithy hoped he'd vibe with the loot. Don cracked it open. Boom. Armor revealed. Eye candy. Suited up and was like, this is lit. Loved it. Best choice ever. Asking this dude to craft it. Smithy grinned. Told Don to grab weapons too, since his axe was toast. Don was hyped. Then, random person enters the chat. Don said bye. Broke but Smithy's like, nah, I'm only here 'cause of you. That gear was straight fire. Total lifesaver. Don hoped he'd keep crafting epics. Hearing that, the smith was super grateful. Outside, dude said Don was fast. Must be serious, drama brewing. Said sorry for crashing the talk, but things were looking grim. Really needed Don's muscle iron. Heretic creeps were grouping up. ETH zone, totally under their thumb right now. Hopped on horses, bounced. Don asked, how'd ETH get wrecked? Found clues about the tile shot, located their secret base too. When they squated up to bust in, heretics swarmed everywhere. Hid in Region 8. Nobody saw it coming. That's how they pulled a fast one. Barra set up a defense line there. Too close. Everyone grouped up. Stuff way different from the game kept happening. Like, this craziness just 2 days after the shop raid. But hey, not all bad news. If the vibes were shifting, it meant dodging a total wipeout. He couldn't ghost this chance. The squad huddled up at the Bronze Guard's base. Wham! Table hit. 7th Chief was livid. Go in there, and we're toast. And who's gonna own that epic fail? But ditching those peeps? Not cool. Chill. I meant we got a turtle up until backup spawns. But if that was the strat, the boss said those guys would be sitting ducks. Super sketchy vibe. One guard was like, my literal job is stopping this mess. But the chief just smirked. Looking sus, like this drama was part of his script. His big brain idea, block the loot routes, starve the city. Don goes, yeah, no. Chief sided the rondo. 8th region boss did the same glare. AFK now, and the creeps level up and raid us. That's on us. Hearing that, 7th Chief got fully triggered. He wasn't vibing with some rondo merc, not in their guild. But his buddy told the guy to check his 'cause that merc carried the Tilia shop raid. Hearing that, the old dude was legit shook. Standing there was the guy who pointed Tilia's owner. Gossip travels fast. Now he had the upper hand. Don kept going. Only one move rush. Now, lesson learned. Dodge your fears, and you only lose loot, not your life. Hard pill to swallow. Go was like Merc's got a point. Anyone who joined the raid knew they had Hoffmonster creepers roaming the streets. Basically, 8th District was on a timer to get wrecked. That info hit hard. Everyone got quiet. Sus old guy was stuck. They claimed they were there to help, but that first hit was a crit. Defense was barely holding. Backup would be sweet, but requests were left on red. If they were waiting for the Silver Squad, they'd spawn in soon. Guy asks. Source. Suddenly, the floor started shaking. Earthquake or raid? No clue. A crowd formed outside. Guard yelled, who are you guys? They just showed up. Frontu goes, my bad, we're Silver. They were straight from the Silver Magic Tower. Clutch timing. Been a while. He called Don old man. Mage Lols lived long enough to get roasted by a merc. That's exactly why he vibed with him. He was Felver Valentino, OG mage from El Gaia Tower. Felver offered a bonus. Perk City in trouble. Ping me. I'll carry. Time to pay up on that promise. Mage backup. Always a win. Don gave props for the help. Midnight run. Horses sprinting. Full tilt. Dude was rushing. Had to blast the news to everyone. Stat. Torch. Lit the way. They pushed through the gloom. Eyeing the squad, Done played the game plan. Plans out, hands up if you're down. Not everyone was vibing with it. First strike is sketchy. Needed his day ones for this. Zone 8 boss, on lookout, pros only in the pit. Boom, all systems go. Silent squad cap led the bronze boys. Mages tagged along. Just them crashing the aggro cult's party. Creeping in the dark. Mine entrance, dead ahead. At the door, Mage sensed major bad mojo inside. Gnarly scream inside Hoffmonster. Maybe. Dude sprints out. Face, wrecked, looking shook. Begged him for a save. Plot twist. Illa Zone 7 chief. Recognized the voice. Cried, help, I was framed. Explains the ghosting. He was colluding with them. Before they could chat, Doan spotted something. Guys smoked him. Traitors talking? Betrayal? Gross. Killer grinned at the new players. Perfect timing. We were low on sacrifices. This is messy. Gotta wrap it up, ASA. Goen told Doan. I got this guy. You wanted the smoke. Doan gave the thumbs up. Masked guys like, do I know you? Bro. Clicked fast. He tossed the wrecked body aside. Beggar's kid, your blood tasted legit amazing. Hearing that, Gowan saw red. Mage said, chill. More baddies incoming. Dude. Gowan didn't get the memo, but the whiz kept walking, fire in hand. Spellcast, and the floor dropped like a massive quake hit. Handwave, and rocks buried the masked creep. Soldier was shook, place crawling with cult. Dome clocked him, hiding in magic mist. Platform leg snapped. They bailed, jumping to avoid the drop. One guy knew the mage, major bummer for him. Lizard guy stuck the landing, steady on his feet. Busted, didn't expect the whiz to quake him so fast. Fight starting, time to bring the chaos. The bronze guards were freaking out. Gon just got ready to rumble. Dome kept his eyes glued on the creepy cultist dude. Some guy touched the dirt. Then, boom, mutant freaks incoming. They looked like twisted nightmares made of pure pain. Gross. One soldier was like, are these demons or what? Mages were shaking, but he was grinning like a maniac. Cultists must be partying hard to invite these ugly beasts. They were total simps for the big plan. He couldn't wait to wreck them all. Mage versus mage. Gon took the lizard guy. Dallin, he got the fun part. Game on. Losers. Everyone picked a target. Doan zoomed straight for the beast. Up close, the ugly thing tried to squash him flat. Smash. It hit dirt. Dallin was already gone. Too slow. He jumped high, bringing his axe down for a grand slam. Bullseye, right on the beast's messed up butt. Seeing it hurt was awesome. Time to farm some XP from this mob. Bonk. Axe hit the noggin, but 0 damage. Weird. Buried deep in its face, but the thing was still kicking. Doan yanked his weapon, while the beast threw a temper tantrum. It screamed so loud his ears almost popped. Chill, dude. Definitely a hell-spawned mana freak. Gotta have a mana core inside. Yup, totally called it. Axe popped out. Blood gushed everywhere like a fountain. This mob was tanky. Dallin knew he couldn't just spam attacks. Thinking fast, he went in for round 2. Gotta be careful not to get the weapon stuck again. But the beast actually blocked it this time. Not bad. Useless. Dallin dodged and used its arm as a gym bar. Parkour move. Now he was surfing on top of the thing. Its body was so weird it couldn't even look up. Critical hit. Headless. Now, being huge just made it clumsy. While it stumbled, he aimed right for the chest. Wait, Spider sense is tingling. A bunch of creepy hands grabbed at him. Super annoying. He tried to block the grabby hands. Too many hands. The attack was as ugly as his mug. Doan wasn't gonna stick around for this hug. Flexing hard, he smashed the monster up close. Time to unleash the real combat skills. Elbow drop to that ugly face coming right up. Smash. Forearm connected hard. Face caved in deep. Doan landed. The beast looked totally wrecked. No breaks. He charged in to finish the job. Dude unleashed a combo on the beast's flabby gut. After that beatdown, the mana core popped right out. Jackpot. Doan revved his fire skills. Ready to roast everything? Blazing arrow spawned in his grip. He aimed straight for that shiny weak spot. Whoosh. The shot spiraled, smashing the core to bits. Bulls. Boom. Now the monster's leftover heads screamed like crazy. Super loud. Don's ears were basically ringing. Then, a ton of half-monsters flooded the mine. Total chaos. Getting annoying now? Doan was seriously losing his cool. Whatever. They gotta find the big boss. Apostle, Ace. Soldier screamed for help. Said the haters weren't the only threat. Doan spun around, curious about the news. Knights knew they had to wipe the mob. Wizard dude prepped his glowing bow. They spammed magic arrows. Monsters got shredded like paper. Covered by magic, troops pushed to front. Doan knew the squad leader and Old Mage's crew were legit. He jumped a monster's head. Time to dip. Yoinked the shield first, though. Left the soldier, totally baffled. Shield grabbed, Doan just parkered the mine walls, dodging creepers popping out. Lizard guy didn't want the merc beating him there. Gon saw him spacing out and took the shot. Nearly chopped Lizard's head off. Leader kept the pressure on. Masked dude talked trash. Beggar's kid became Gon. No way. Trying to trigger him, he bragged about how tasty Gon's mom was back in the day, whipped out 2 huge axes. His mask dropped off. Crockman wanted to see how the beggar kid tasted. Hoped Gon tasted as good as his mom did. Gon ignored the shade. Said he'd slice that lizard mouth first. No stalling, he jumped right at Croc. Fight got super intense. Mage was like, Gaim wants to solo this. I'll just watch. Plus, they were totally winning anyway. Asked the masked dude if he agreed. Masked guy said even if they lose, Grand Apostle can't be stopped. The big plan's happening. Surprise? Style. Mage got curious about their hacks. Masked guy shut up and just smirked, creepy like. Could mean anything. Don told the boss to quit it, since he tossed the demon bod. But Don, they were short on loot. Still, the apostle dug the pact, made him whole. He started thanking the merc for showing up. The gods watching their MVP tried to rage quit the apocalypse. Bro was still yapping when an axe high-fived his face. Creep smirked. Like that cheap shot would actually delete him. Mr. Big Shot doesn't go down after just one bonk. Don zipped it fast. Something looked mega sus. Weird marks on the floor. Totally not on his bingo card. Just spotted Apostle 6 and the top warrior. Both toast. He's grinding this game forever. Swearing it's just for lore. Sometimes he played villain. Even tried the Apostle class once. That run ended with literally everyone getting wrecked. Even his own squad got wiped. Zero chill. He went full savage. Boom. 2 bodies. Spotted instantly. Baddie locked in. Wanted to turn Don into loot. Those gross tentacles made landing a hit a total pain. Brel signed a pact with Eraction. Some D-tier scrub. Trash rank, but the healing hacks were actually insane. Nice jukes. Bro, the apostle basically admitted, but he knew Don wasn't going to be an easy dub. Dude started Don realized he was ghosting. Brain lagging, cheek bleeding, way too fast. Speed hacks on. Literally 0 gaps in his defense. Don tried to turtle, but enemy was already hugging him. In deep trouble, Don scrambled to clutch it out. Big yikes. A tentacle already snagged him, GG. Things were looking pretty cringe right now. Tried to rage quit the grab, but poof guy vanished. Stamina draining super fast. Did he get poisoned? Dragon blood kicked in to heal, but the lag was real. Matching that speed with this lag, total nightmare mode. Still, Don had to just send it yo. Parkour Pro was bouncing off the walls like crazy, trying to bait Don while sneaking into his blind spot. But Don read that play like a book, totally ready. The slime arms reacted just as fast though. Up close again, Don slammed his shield down. Guy dodged, but his tentacles got pinned. Gotcha. Look who's actually shocked now. Stuck at Don. Swiped in, took a slice off his dome. Dude folded like a cheap lawn chair. Don went for the combo, but got spooked. Head tentacles popped out. You got tricks? Huh? He grunted, mumbling some creepy cheat codes. The guy's face morphed. Huge fangs. Total monster makeover. He cast an ult and Don got swallowed by the magic. The blast yeeted him straight across the room. That smack hit hard enough to reboot Don's dragon powers. Totally felt like a replay of the last guy. This boss wrecked. It wasn't that Don was weak or anything. He just couldn't outgrind the apostle's healing hacks. Short fight, but super sketchy. Demon power is no joke. The creep's limbs morphed into gross spider legs. Don's usual bag of tricks was totally useless now. Monster Boy waited, knowing Don was stressing over the reading. The fix was obvious. One massive crit to end the game. Just one solid hit to wrap this whole thing up. With buffed senses, the thing heard a heartbeat thumping. The merc's whole vibe inside the rune just flipped. Don stood rock solid. The apostle sensed trouble and panicked. His wiggly death limbs shot at Don to end him. They were like inches from smashing his face, and Don punched the air brakes and yelled, "Yo, listen up. Combat mode on Don." Asked, "Ever eaten a knuckle sandwich?" Feet set, he triggered his super jump ability. He zoomed at the ugly guy, fast and heavy. Tentacle shield up, but Don just smirked at the panic. His fist packed power, enough to blow a hole straight through the dude. The creature admitted Don had skills and tried to bail, but he figured Don's story ended right here. Don laughed. Not today. The monster froze up. While grappling, the merc started charging a spell. Boom! Blinding light everywhere. This creep never actually had a name before. He traded his ID to a dark god for revenge totally ghosted from reality that day. Just a total simp for the evil deity. Top minion for that fate-wisting dwarf. Mission wreck humanity space. The Diamond Palace. Whatever. Didn't matter while he roasted alive. Even while cooking, he stabbed Don with a tentacle. Didn't stop Don though. He's got regen hacks too. Can't heal the burn without backing off. But oops, he couldn't yank his limb back out. Don didn't chill. He loaded a punch while no way he was letting this guy run away. Then, the apostle's ugly mug got smashed in. Losing control, the monster realized he might die here. Don teased, "We ain't done yet, buddy." Tentacles chopped off. Total L for him. Bro asked if I knew diamonds and pencil lead are basically twins. Top dogs become underdogs eventually. Tried to play God, but logic slapped him hard. Maybe this dub was just scripted destiny. Don was like, cool story bro, stop yapping. We write our own scripts fam. Even Don, fleeing that fancy diamond palace. Dude agreed, tried to say more, then disconnected. First time a boss mob dropped lore before 2 bodies dropped. Time to loot them both. Mana and skill points when burr. Up 1. Unlocked cryo powers. Stay frosty. Looted the other guy. Strength +4. Too much XP at once. System overload. Started glitching hard. 1 error and it's game over. Gotta tank it to get back to boom. Teleported to a random map. Back to the tutorial zone. Basically, dream or focused and felt a vibe. My actual avatar was miles away. Pausing the XP drain. Side quest detected here. Yeeted the cabin door open. Meta moment hits my room. Some dudes gaming inside. Grinding that game I was addicted to. Screen showed my custom character. Clicking around, picking the next raid. Don froze. Wait, that ain't just pixels? Trolling NPCs, rage quitting quests. 0, chill. No clue how many servers I wrecked for fun. Hand grabbed my ankle. Save me bro. Shadows simping for help. The gamer? Literally me. That's my cringe past, not my current era. Realized the T? Don got big mad. Saved the day. But the bad karma? Still there. Only way to fix it? Boom. Scene switch. Vowed no quitting in this server. For real. System notification popped up. Got a base? Mobs of injured peeps outside. Mage cast a cracked healing spell. Ghost hands, patching dudes up, speedrun style. Healed that guy. Mage said, AFK for a bit. Mage peeped. Someone walking up. Walking with that main character energy. Don's back from the mines. 0 damage. Mage was hype. Squinting, he saw Don's vibe had totally shifted. He asked if Don snagged that turf the wizard promised. Spotted it instantly. Waking up, Don felt like he'd unlocked a cheat code. Stats bumped up by 1, except strength. Classic RPG. Skills leveled up to, he guessed why he was buffed. That pre-nap notification about the turf, did it? Bet the old wizard knows the deets. Don had cues, but the mage bailed to heal folks. But the magic dude said if Don ever needs info, just crash the tower anytime. Cool Don looked at the silent company's boss. Gon was hunching over his foe's body. Revenge served cold. Check, Don. Saw a kid nearby. It was Tommy, that noob still being tested. After the sewer mess? Gotta admit the kid's gritty. Mage will train him, right? Saw a mask on the floor. Finally, nuked one source of the chaos. But seriously, this is just level 1. Big demons and witches are still roaming out there. Weird dryads, lurking vamps, and insanely OP dragons. Way tougher mobs than anything Don's fought. They better wait up. He's gonna solo them all soon. Letter in hand, Don kept walking and reading. Since he's a big shot, jobs are piling up now. VIPs haunt the pub just to see him. Fan club alert. Looks like he's got a ton of headaches to handle. Got to the tavern, way more packed than usual. Didn't expect the fame. Sat at the bar for a drink. Rondo walks up, asking if he's the local hero. Dude kept Don had 0 clue who he was. Guy went about ignored texts. Is Don too cool for townies? Getting all in his face. The guy told him to quit playing, since he spent cash finding him. Don swatted him away. Just drink your booze. Man, not a soft push. That hand felt weird? Don sipped, while the weirdo griped about his arm. Furious, the guy swore he'd cripple Don for that. Dude lunged with a saber, trying to shank the hero. Arrows tagged his arm and legs. Pincushion time. A girl yelled at him to stop waving that toy indoors. Toxic customers get booted. She wasn't kidding. As he limped off, she told Don, he's late. Gotta go. She is totally scary when she wants to be. Don joked about her bouncing skills. She shrugged it off. Don was basically a money printer for the tavern. Time to check the quest board stacks of new gigs just dropped. Eyeing the pile, Don asked if she could filter out the trash. Got a flavor in mind? She asked. Don piped up. Anything with stamina buffs? Vision, spells, juice, rituals I need the goods. Dude was a tank, but his gas tank? Tiny. Cardio was his kryptonite, and hitting empty hurt like heck. There are single quotes. S.1. She hesitated, but it's sketchy. Clients, a total newbie from the Sacred Knight Order. Mission, raid a maze, slay a demon, grab a stolen sword. Don grinned at the invite. Sounds sick. I'm in? The receptionist gaped. Wait, for real? A dungeon run meant loot. Call him up, he said. Stepped outside Manhwa. Didn't expect that. Armor Girl was beefing with some dudes, demanding a We need a ref, she yelled. Any notaries here? The vibe was so weird, Don thought he was tripping. Carts rolled in. Don flashed his gold rank badge. A shiny little thank you from Goen for saving their bacon. VIP perks. Entry fee was just 8 coins. He tossed the cash, feeling like a boss, and finally made it to the Silver Territory Adventureland. Baby, scanning the streets, he got a weird tingle. Home of the maze, and that legendary Desire Stone. Suddenly, some old geezer flagged him down. You here for the dungeon, kid? Doan nodded. Gramps immediately started rambling about the old days. Great town, he wheezed. My whole squad lived here once. Doan zoned out. Not here for a history lesson. Gods have eyes on you. Good luck. Doan turned. Back poof. Gone. That was definitely a hidden NPC. Maybe the many faces guy. Had to be. Will definitely cross paths again. His client, Lucia Castile, super intense, kinda judgy, hates demons with a passion, but a total softie for humans. And right now, she was screaming her head off at some guy. Take it back, she hissed, or I smash your face in. Guy just said Barrett, dropped the loot, and failed the quest. Lucia snapped. Barrett's a legend. He fought till the end. The merc just sneered. That holy sword doesn't work for bastards. She lost it. Thud, sword, in dirt. Duel. Now. Where's a notary? The merc laughed. You got a death wish, lady? Crowd gathered. Fight. Cash started flying. The crowd couldn't pick a side. Team Mercenary or Team Holy Knight. Don't face. Lucia hated the audience. She needed a witness. Legal. Merc crept up. No lawyers needed when you're dead. He was about to wreck her. Then someone jumped in. Wrap it up, folks. Doan stepped up. She's with me. Drama's over. But the hired gun wasn't chill. Move or your first kid. Dallin smashed his club. Brah, you're unarmed. Seeing that flex, everyone finally cooled off. Lucia, who are you? Doan, your employee, remember? Later, away from the noise? She said, thanks. I'm Lucia. Holy Knight, rookie, she admitted. The job description was vague. Dalen needed Lucia spilled. The knights were watching another maze zone, way down in the southwest. It's wide open. Monsters can pop up whenever. Gotta hit safe repulsion first to gear up. Her pal Barrett made officer and went to but he ghosted, presumed dead. Knights heard it. One of the 12 holy swords got jacked. The thief, her bestie Barrett, if the sword picked him, why didn't he text? Weird. Doan got the gig now. So, who's tagging along? Lucia sighed. Nobody available here. Monsters are wilding. We're short on. Knights just us two in the dungeon. Doan smirked. Chance to help a future MVP. Sweet. Meet me at the dungeon gate tomorrow at 12. Single clock sharp. Lucia was totally shook. Doan banged his cup. Let's get that sword back. At the magic tower, Doan chilled by the garden wall. Old mage walked up. Sorry for the wait, kiddo. Class ran overtime. Tommy, the teacher's pet, tagged along too. Dude leveled up. Looked way more grown up now. Probably there to chat about the stuff. They skipped earlier. Yep, that was it. Doan glowed like a lamp. He asked about the lands. Huge vibes surrounded him. Mage was hyped. Doan was OP and only getting stronger. Only folks who own their past get this good. Doan soaked it all in. Total deja vu moment, just like his messy past. Old guy asked if Doan could control his domain. Doan was like, nope. Mage said a domain is basically building your own fantasy world. Real life has rules, but in fantasy, anything goes. Since Doan had a domain, he got a VIP pass to that world too. Doan was itching to know how to log into his new server. Better you see it live, Mage said, sending Tommy to nap time. Kid agreed but left totally bummed. They waved by. Seeing a domain now would fry the kid's brain. Mana overload is confusing. Anyway, time to get this party started. Mage cast a spell and suddenly started glowing like a light bulb. That's how he summoned his domain, making the impossible real. Basically, that's domain power 10. Doan felt it. Mage's mana was glitching out the world around him. Reminded him of the apostle fight when the mana flow got weird. Now it all finally clicked for him. Mage asked, saw that? Think you can pop your domain now? Doan was like, nah, and Mage said, chill. It takes time. OP mages have OP limitations too. Doan asked what Mage's domain did. He said it had, tons of perks, but mostly lets him watch the land's memories. Everyone passing through leaves a mark. Kinda like footprints. He can replay the past and even peek at spoilers for the future. Doan thought it was wild that the land DVR'd history for everyone. He had one last question, something bugging him since he got here. Who is he really? Meanwhile, time was ticking outside the maze. On floor 1, Doan was chilling with his contractor. He asked if Lucia was jittery. She admitted, yeah, a little. This was the backstory of the future legendary demon slayer. Even Doan wondered how this kid would level up to Sacred Knight. Nearby, Doan heard some gossip about where they got their info. It was that mercenary dude he bumped into earlier. Merc swore he saw it live. Said the knight totally wrecked the demon. A hurt, low-level demon. Total XP bait for adventurers. Slaying maze monsters equals massive loot drops. But that logic is trash. The demon has the sword and is buffing up. So the demons camping, hiding the sword to farm power for years. Since the demons near-fed right now, they can do whatever they want. Doors opened, Don said ready up, but Lucia expected a portal. Instead, the floor just lit up underneath them. The maze was downstairs, and the floor doors popped open. Lucia didn't see that coming. They fell, and she was freaking out. They dropped straight into a valley-looking spot. Don stuck the landing, but Lucia totally failed. Finally, inside. Lucy asked, "Where's the squad?" Don said mana's laggy. So, 'cause of that glitch. Cords were trash. We just spawned on floor 1. Luce was sussing him out. How's a noob? Know the map. Don grinned. I'm a pro newbie. That's how. Checked the stars. Figured we were sitting northeast, total opposite side from where the sword got dropped. Gotta trek through the mid-map forest. Demon cave. Shielded. Gonna be super magic heavy soon. Getting the picture, Don was like, pick up the pace. A snap in the dark, put him on edge. 2. Him. Good vibes. Mage luck is real, even if Luce didn't get it. She was just stressing over the total mess around him. Close by, ghouls and megawolves started creeping up. Luce squared up. This feels lucky. You for real. Don leaped in. Wait for the drop, you'll see. Dropping from above, he was ready to clap the first guy. Flash. Light blew up the woods. Don struck. Dude popped from shadows. Don stole a ride. Fast travel time. Night-dragged monster camp was chilling. For now, one creep was on watch, staring at something way off. Nearby, a scream ripped out. Luce was totally shook. Stop, she begged. I'm scared we're rushing the boss room. Watchdog howled. Snitch alerted the whole squad. Closing in. About 2 faceplant into the wall. Don swerved. Luce smacked right into it. Don grabbed her. Yo, you good? I'm fine, she said, shocked he hacked the beast's GPS. Because of that, they speedrun a huge chunk of the map. Just gotta bail now. Dude had crazy ideas. We're in the mob spawner. Gotta wipe 'em all out. Stick close, he told Luce, prepping to throw hands. Yetting himself in, he was already in the mosh pit. Taunting mobs. Don went ham. Luce just sighed. Gripping her sword, she sent a DM to the war god. Eyes lit up. She dashed through, slicing and dicing. Don didn't expect that. Thought she was a total scrub. But wow, she had mad skills and serious main character energy waiting to unleash. Seeing her go, Don chilled out. Back to the grind. They kept wrecking mobs left and right. Non-stop. Long fight later, they reset positions. Game on. Back to back. Do these guys ever stop spawning? Luce asked. Don't ask. Know how to make M-Rage quit. Learned that in the tutorial, she said. I got this. Mobs growled. Game over soon, she grinned. Before she could spill the tea, a gnarly growl ripped through the air nearby. A spear slammed down, held by a massive beast. Bus fight. Cut his necklace, and the mob retreats. Once the big boss showed up, the minions bowed down. Guess he was tired of watching his squad get deleted. Ding! System alert for Don. 2 new bodies discovered. Found the maze rookie and the veteran fighter. Rip. Don told Lucia to chill, but she was like, no way, I can still throw hands. Literally the second she stopped talking, pain wrecked her. She was totally running on fumes. Big mistake blowing all her mana on the scouting party earlier. She couldn't help staring at Don though. Dude wasn't even sweating. Lucia wondered what the deal was with this wolf who skipped the grind, but was suddenly hyped to fight him. The beast rushed in, weapons clashing hard. Don clocked this NPC instantly. It's Bar, future simp for the Eagle God. Bargoof hit him with the classic who goes there? Vibe. Demanding to know who crashed his crib and wrecked his crew. Don blinked. Didn't know Fido had dialogue options. Don shrugged. I don't need a permit to smash many. Plus, judging by the monologue, this wolf made a deal with a dark god. Cost 10 human hearts apparently. The monster noted Don wasn't exactly a basic NPC. Annoyed by the yapping Don sighed. Can we speedrun this? I'm busy. Wolf guy called him cocky and promised a slow, painful game over. Don rolled his eyes, hoping the beast would actually try. Round 2, let's go. Boom. They smashed together, kicking up a massive dust storm. Lucia squinted through the dirt, stressed about the outcome. Wolfie had Don grabbed tight, mocking his guts. Don ignored the roast. He knew Bargo was dumb, but leaving Don's hands free. Rookie mistake. Using that fresh ice magic, he froze the wolf's arm solid. Back in his glory days, he spammed magic all the time. Now the wolf's limb was a giant popsicle. Bargo snarled. You think you won? Too late. Don was already winding up to shatter that ice. Snap, one hit, and the arm was gone. Bargo lost his mind. Don hopped back to create space, plotting his next combo as he closed in again. The wolf stumbled, totally dazed and confused. Getting owned by a human, Bargo growled. I wasn't even using full power. 10 hearts, gave him brains. 20 hearts, stone-crushing strengths. With 30 more, he unlocked region hacks. He was ready to shred. Don just smirked. Bring it on. fluffy. They kept going, but the wolf was basically powerless. Don wondered if he glitched the story. Bargo wasn't supposed to be this buff yet. Another dust cloud exploded up. Lucia watched the brawl, totally praying things wouldn't go south. Sitting on the sidelines sucked. Then, Wolf started snarling behind her. Honestly, great news. Finally, she could actually do something useful. All glowed up with magic. She taunted the beasts into attacking. The tired alpha growled, asking Don what he thought about the mess. Dude fully healed up, and Don couldn't do a thing to stop it. Cool trick, Don admitted, sparking up a fireball to test a theory. He wondered if the guy could heal after being totally toasted. Seeing those flames, Bargoof looked seriously freaked out. The next hit was hard enough to punch a hole right through him. Sword out, Don was totally ready to keep the beatdown going. He planned to roast the beast, but things went sideways fast. The blade didn't cut right, so the wolf tried to cut a deal. Bargo claimed he had a stash of loot from his victims nearby. If Don let him slide, he'd hand over the entire stash. Don said thanks. The wolf bought it as the sword lowered. Then Don took his head off, ignoring the bribe. Even with god-tier powers, the guy was just totally disgusting. Fight over. Don turned around to check on Lucia. Figured she'd be gassed, but she wrecked the other monsters. He gave the Saintess props, and she complimented the merc back. Alright, time to keep this moving. Lucia flinched at the blood. Don was like, what's wrong? For a sec, she actually thought he was one of the monsters. Somewhere else, a demon sensed another minion got deleted. First, the cultist. Now the wolf. Losing to humans is embarrassing. The dwarf who twists the future was watching Axagus closely. Bro wanted nothing more than to kick the god off his throne. Standing there amidst the Bodhis, a new party just showed up. A hunter yelled he'd chop the demon's head off for a trophy. Axagus, totally bored, ordered his corrupted knight to get up. At first, the squad thought it was just some mindless puppet, but with that chest hole, it turned out to be Lucia's dead pal. The hunter, wanting to speedrun the whole fight, announced he'd wrecked the puppet before hitting the boss. He didn't even finish talking before a sword flew at his throat. The whole squad got wiped before they could even block. The demon grinned at the scene. Absolute masterpiece, right there. Don stood over Debatis he had just stumbled upon. As he collected them, his proficiency and stamina went up by 1. He snagged another proficiency point and unlocked a new skill. That pulverizing sword rocked Don chilled by the fire. Thinking. With all the gains, he popped his status window to check stats. Besides the skill, his stamina was catching up to his strength. Now, only 10 points separated them. Checking his stamina stats against his total strength. Basically, 0 chance of him passing out like that again. Plus, snagging that smash sword skill. Total game changer. Looted it right off that last guy he took down. Dragon blood plus sword smashing. He was itching to test that combo. It seemed pretty obvious. Flashback to that old mage asking, "Who exactly are you, kid?" Old guy used some magic mojo and dropped a bomb. Don had 2 years and 1 month to live. Of all the crazy junk he could have heard, an expiration date wasn't on the bingo card. 2 years here meant his body was literally born the day he spawned. Game mechanics were totally baked into this. World and Dallin just needed to know why he got isekai'd here. Maybe to replay his greatest gaming hits. He racked his brain, but no dice, whatever. Focus on the loot. That wish-granting stone, find the rock, wish for a ticket home. Easy peasy. While he was spacing out, Lucia walked up. "Yo, Don, you look stressed." Don waved it off. "I'm good. Why you up though?" Her shift wasn't for ages. "Can't sleep?" She shrugged. "Want me to take over now?" Don shook his head. He liked staring at the fire. With all the recent drama, no wonder she had insomnia. Losing a teammate sucks. She was probably still reeling. Trying to keep it light, Don asked. "So, what was Barrett like?" "I mean, the holy sword picked him. Dude Mustove, been special." "Totally," Lucia said. "But not just because of the sword. He was the most ride-or-die knight I ever knew. Class act, newbies, vets, everyone loved the guy." Lucia clearly fangirled over him too. He was nice to literally everyone. A total hero. So the trash they're talking about him makes 0 sense. He didn't steal it, and how a demon got it? I don't get it. Don nodded. "Yeah, the math ain't math. If the sword chose him, he wasn't a scrub, and with a squad, a trash mob demon gets wrecked." The other mercs said Barrett even gutted the thing. If that's true, the fight should have been a cakewalk. Lucia cut in. "If he died fighting, I'm just proud. I knew him." Don smiled. With friends hyping him up like that, I bet he's grateful. His pep talk hit her right in the feels. Just as she said thanks, an arrow zoomed right at her face. Don moved fast, slapping it away before it could game over her. Don sensed the bad vibes instantly. Ready to throw hands? Always. He sent it back. Return to sender, baby. Bullseye nailed a shadow lurking in the bushes. Dude couldn't dodge, and in his last sec, he was totally shook by Don's aimbot hacks. Body dropped, but Don was already scanning for more creeps. Enemies rolled up. Salty, they didn't jump him. Weird flex. Don's radar should have pinged them sooner. Then, a face he actually recognized popped out. Some Merc wind about a dead friend. Then Baldy cracked a joke about not seeing that dummy girl in forever. Lucia got triggered. You're fugly? She snapped. Don clocked Mr. Clean. Fast yo. How long you been stalking us? Baldy none of your beeswax, kid. Just here to settle that tavern beef. Then he told his goons to get wrecked. Chilly F, Don asked. Lucia, what the tea on how your pal died? Lucia paused, flashing back to Bear. Big sad. She gripped her sword, handle tight. Mode switched on. Yeah, I deserve to know, she said. Time to show these NPCs what happens in a slasher flick. Don yeeted himself at the first squad. They screamed, die. Like manifesting works, swords went clank. Don and some scrub traded shots. After trolling him, Don said, my grandpa moves faster. Bruh. The noob couldn't process Don's speed hacks. While buffering, his face got smashed into the pavement. Crunch. Don mashed his face way harder. Into the dirt. Yeah, he's definitely AFK now. Nearby, another idiota froze up, terrified. Don creeped up like a movie monster. Guy stuttered, stay back. But a loud scream ripped through the night, meeting his maker, literally. Meanwhile, Lucia locked in. Her sword glowed up. Come get some extras, she dared. One guy bit, acting all cocky, yelling he didn't care if she was a holy knight. Bones break, same way, he thought, swinging wild. Lucia jumped. Nice rusty spoon? Slowpoke, she teased. She rained down hits while floating midair. The mercs below tried not to get deleted. Slice. One guy literally lost a limb. Lucia laughed. Easy game. All talk, no skill. Total trash. Don grinned, impressed as always. Baldy raged, calling his minions useless noob. Reading the room, Bra realized he was cooked and tried to dip unnoticed. Don hollered at Lucia to wreck the low-level minions while he chased Mr. Clint. That dude needed a serious vibe check. Mid-chase, some suicidal noob tried to gank Don from behind. Don looked back, like, brew, the audacity. He yeeted himself sky-high, leaving the scrub for Lucia's XP grind. Up ahead, Baldy was sprinting, trying to ghost the beasts chasing him. Dude was stressing hard, veins popping on his chrome dome. He plotted revenge, but Dallin was already closing the gap. Boom, Don crash-landed right on top of him. Don roasted him for abandoning his squad. Total trash behavior. While pinning him, a random voice piped up, spooking Don. Turns out, another camper was hiding nearby. This mystery dude asked Don to quit deleting the other noobs. Don wasn't having it. Why stop the fun, just cause he asked? He was hyped to school anyone trying to pull that nonsense. But Beardy noticed Dallin seemed to be lugging a huge chest, so he couldn't let him slide. It was awkward since Dallin meant to stash the loot with Sienna. Scared he'd smash it, smart Alec Beardy tried to buy freedom with a mute button totem. Suddenly, it all clicked. That's why Don didn't hear them creeping up. Curious, Dallin wanted a demo. Beardy said, sure, come closer. The guy's creepy grin gave away his sus plan. Perfect chance to jump Don at close. Rand's ready to let his blocky heater sink. Don hates fakes. Beardy teased. Bet you can't dodge this. But before he finished yapping, Doll was already in his face. Only then did Beardy realize he messed up big time. Don smacked him. Not just hard, but with the rage of getting gasping for air. Beardy twisted in pain while Delon grilled him. He swiped his ID mercs with Boris's golden badge, figures, but Don hadn't forgot about Mr. Clean. He wondered how long they planned to keep running. Knowing the clock was ticking, Don cut the chatter. He stepped to Baldy, who backstabbed the knight. Dude was shook. He had zero clue how Don knew that Barrett was OP. Don said, spill the truth or get deleted slowly. Dragging his feet, the bald guy confessed he was the one who ganked Barrett. He thought he'd snag the epic sword and get a payout from the demon. Both were wrecked, and Lucia pulled up just in time for the drama. Lucia finally clocked the truth. Bestie got fragged, 'cause of Baldy. Chrome Doom tried begging. Too late, bro. Sorry, don't fix dead. With a swish, Lucia turned him into Lego parts, glaring at the nugget. She said that was just round one. No chill. Crawling like a worm, totally wrecked and leaking. He regretted being a wimp. Lucia let out a breath. Since the demon let him run, she could personally delete him. Time to pay up. Game over. Man, dude started simping, promising whatever to live. She paused, glitching a sec. Then, bam, dropped him. Mercies for noobs. She's a holy knight. Her sword glowed yellow. It wrapped him up, and he screamed like a banshee. Don didn't expect that holy fire here. White, divine flame. Serious boss killer stuff. They burned but hit refresh on the nerves of the guy, keeping the pain maxed till his HP hit 0. Now, just a pile of salty ash left. Don asked if she was good, checking the vibe. She was like, I'm chill, no worries. He gave props. Hoped she'd move on. No regrets. Still emo, she thanked him. Don helped save her friends. Rep. Big time. Don was like, nah, that was all you. She never doubted her homie Barrett. Hearing that, she said, thanks again. Impressed, she offered a raise. Don grinned. Cash is king. I'm down. Awkwardness, gone. She grinned. Big. 2. Wired. 2. Sleep. She wanted to keep grinding. On the way, Don looted a corpse. Plus, 1 mana. Unlocked skills. 8 AR. Plus, 1 stamina. Another body. Plus 1 sense. Easy leveling. Prep done. They hit a cave. Looks like the final boss room. Lucia said the entrance gave bad vibes. Don said, demon pads are always weird, so watch out for campers and traps. Taking point, he told her to stick close. Spikes on the roof. Moving up, Lucia spotted something sus. Dead end. Huge stone wall blocked the path. Don touched it. Betting a spell opens it. Felt a glitch. He yelled at Lucia to get ready for impact. Boom. Huge explosion, almost wiped him. Demon laughed, asking if that intro was too loud. Said welcome, and bragged he was creep. Lucia was fuming, itching to slice the beast. Don just sarcastically thanked him for the welcome. The time to pay the dude back. Hyped. The monster dared Don to bring it, swearing to hit back with love. Trash talk over, the brawl kicked off. Things got heated, so Lucia used Don as a jump pad to launch up. Airborne, she prepped a massive smash to avenge her fallen pal. The beast below looked clueless. Not moving. Don spotted the trap and screamed for Lucia to bail out fast. Right as she got close, the freak unleashed a cheap final boss-style nuke. The hit was brutal. Lucia hacked up blood. Don caught her before she ate dirt. Both were shook. This scrub was supposed to be weak, but was totally OP. No time to stress. Mid-fight, Don clocked what was up. The creep was leeching juice from the hidden sword. So, Don knew he had to go full popping his domain cheat code. Don flipped the script. The beast's ego cracked, feeling that pressurized. Shocked, the demon asked if this guy actually mastered the zone. Smirking, Don was like, yup. He told the ugly guy to prep for a legendary. The monster never guessed Don could actually handle such juice. Swearing, he still wouldn't take the L. Don stood firm, waiting for the strike. When it hit, Don just slapped it away. Easy peasy. He rushed the confused demon who was totally losing it. The merc was ready to wrap this up ASAP. The demon started freaking out. He realized he was going to get wrecked hard. Scared, he popped his shield, bragging Don couldn't touch him. Matt, Don snapped. Too much yapping, not enough action. One huge hit, and Don smashed the defense. Didn't kill him, but broke some horns. Don wanted more. He kept pushing. The raged-out demon tried to hit back. Strong as he was, he couldn't touch the guy. Don was tiring out, but his buffs kept him going. Without that, he'd be dead meat. The demon wind, arm totally messed up. He groaned, seeing he wasn't healing up like usual. Hurtsy still couldn't believe a newbie human had territory hacks. Totally desperate, the creep yelled for his zombie knight. A sad dude with a chest hole stepped in, ready to fight Don. Just a corpse, but skilled enough to block the hit. Total but Don didn't expect player to. Don finally clocked something weird about the knight. Clearly, no rondo. That was his own holy knight. Panicked, the demon bailed, making his Zomba knight stall. Barrett's corpse obeyed, blocking Don's path. Super weird. Scrub demons can't usually boss knights around. Then Don spotted that freaky chain on Barrett's neck. Hellman's chains. OP item that turns you into a puppet. Don got the picture now. Total disaster vibes. Had to end this Lucia started apologizing. The vibe was getting super heavy. Her pal was possessed, so it was her mess to clean up. She told Don to chase the demon. She had words for her dumb pal. Gripping her blade tight, Don confirmed it was definitely Barrett. Under the circs, Don decided to trust her. Lucia, the corruption hunter, had to purify Barrett. Now, she lunged at the knight, who attacked on command. Their blades smashed together, sparking a huge fight. Meanwhile, the healing demon felt cocky. Don caught up. You steal juice from that holy sword. The demon, sporting a wicked grin, agreed. Things are gonna change now, kid. Round 2 started. Way tougher this time. Demon had new gear, so Don unleashed his new skill. Red light flared as Don popped the pulverizing sword. The desperate demon realized, not only could Don use territory, but he had crazy dangerous skills. Raging, the demon asked how a basic scrub like Don did this. He attacked, but his sword shattered on Don's guard. Don's hit was OP, slicing the demon right apart. Devastating hit. Don grinned, shocked by his own power. Demon down. Found 2 more bodies in the silent dungeon. Meanwhile, Lucia and Barry kept brawling, trading hits, but Lucia hesitated to finish it. Flashbacks flooded her brain. Recalled a dropped wooden sword. She'd called him annoyingly strong. The future boss was a total physical beast. Humble Barrett just said, chill with the pressure. Okay? Still, the praise made him happy, though his attitude shift annoyed her. Barrett said she'd leveled up since their last spar. Proud Lucia stood tall. I trained hard to beat you one day. Smiling.com/Barrett promised to fight her anytime. They were fighting now, but this wasn't what she wanted. Hated seeing her hero like this. Honestly, this whole drama was way too much for her to handle. She got in his face, spamming attacks like a pro gamer. Lucia yelled at his zombie-looking self, hating that this creepy version was their final goodbye. But dude was totally zoned out, ignoring her rant. Clang, clash, break. They backed off to reset. He was literally just an empty shell now. She knew she had to game end him right there. Stone-faced, he readied up, raising his blade to block. They traded blows. She nailed it, but got a scratch on her cheek. Barrett looked way worse, though, wrecked, huffing. She admitted he had skills, but he took the L today. Suddenly, white fire started eating him up. Like, total human barbecue situation? She was ready to finish it, then froze up. Something about his face made her hit pause. He actually looked human for a sec and whispered thanks. Lucia tried way too hard not to bawl her eyes out watching this. Gripping her sword, she knew she had to end this level. Bye forever to Barrett, the holy boy scout and total goodie. Bam! She landed the final game over hit. Even while dying, dude managed a weak grin. Ooh, Lucia just lost it and broke down. Not the ending she wanted for her pal turning to dust. Doan said the guy was prob happy. He died with her nearby. Lucia was a total mess, sobbing like a toddler. Sparkly dust everywhere. Mission accomplished for him. Meanwhile, two dudes roasted the dead demon for being a total loser. One guy told his buddy to chill any insults, seeing as he was a traitor himself. The dude snapped back, reminding him to keep it low-key and not look sus. Better safe than sorry, right? Leaving. One said, yo, swing by the cave whenever. It's cool. Time to figure out their next scheme. At the grave, Lucia was like, we're gonna miss you, man. She said he'd go down as a hero, doing his job. Job done. Lucia asked Doan, so, how much cash are we talking? Doan had a specific prize in mind. Night-exclusive stuff only. Back at the night base in Paulson, the squad welcomed them. Some guy was like, props to you too for making it this far. He's Albus, the admin guy, pushing papers. Merc said hi, and Lucia was like, long time no see. Officially, though they totally crushed it and earned big props. The big boss captain couldn't say hi, so he's ghosting. Hope that's cool. The loot? A cool gold coins, and a hookup for a sick holy tat. It's a chaotic skill the war god gave knights to spam divine power. The ink basically buffs your strength and magic, but it does way more to. So Doan headed to the Pfizer, a spot buzzing with god. Only the cap or vice cap can do the ritual, so they gotta meet. Doan was already going there, so he'd see him soon. But Albus was like, wait, take this tip. A glitched relic, Hellman's chain. Lost 400 years. It's bricked now, so totally useless. But Albus figured Doan might vibe with it. Doan was stoked, but smelled a rat and told Albus to spill it. For real, Albus needed a solid from him. Lucia cringed at Don's zero-filtered talk. She told him this, Merc can't be bought with hype and gifts. She tossed her loot to Doan, saying she just got it, cause he carried the team. So take it. Albus didn't see that plot twist coming. Albus said, my bad for acting weird. But Doan asked, what's the drama? Albus froze for a sec. Someone inside is hunting for the holy sword. Lucia was shook. Barrett got wrecked for it. She can't deal with more drama. Even Albus barely believed it. He got a DM days ago. If sword found, send to HQASA, but he checked the fine print and found a code. Lucia was lost, but Doan clocked the traitor fast. He instantly said yes, and Albus was super grateful. Albus offered more tats and cash, but Doan passed. Don't need cash now. I got my prize, he said, gripping the relic. Meanwhile, others made sure the message got sent. The girl looked surprised. Rumors said Doan bounced for a few days. Before she finished, footsteps clicked. She whipped around to check who it was. It was Doan, joking that if she yelled, her ears might fall off. She said sorry, admitting she didn't expect him back. Even the guy there was hyped, barely believing it. Doan was like, yeah, it's me. The dude was glad he was safe, but the merc could tell this guy was wasted. Spotting the weird shape, Santa asked, what's up? Dropping the chest, Doan told her to find a pro hook, crack it open, safe, get the goods discounted in 4 days. Sat down. He asked why Bulk was there. Singa was ready to spill. She said he wanted buffs for his physical stats. Rituals were a total bust. Spells sucked bad side effects or crazy rare loot needed. So, she checked herbs from nomads and pro-growers instead. Bulk raised his cup and shouted that he found exactly what Don needed. Asked if Doan knew Libog Town. Doan was like, yep, they found tons of mandrakes near there. Doan was shook. Sounded like total fake news though. Chenna thought it was cap, but Bulkma, the money whiz, Swore he knew cash flow better than those two. If true, it's huge. Way more mandrakes than peeps think. This legendary herb buffs magic and stamina, but its scream is so loud it makes hearts go boom. Meanwhile, the witch was already plotting her moves. Libok sat in the southwest zone of the map, near Pfizer, where the sacred mages chill. Doan asked if Bulk went for cash. That was the play. So Doan tagged along, making Bulkma super hype. Then Bulk paused, remembered a thing, and toasted. He realized he didn't get that Doan was actually coming. He was totally floored. Doan was like, "You said you're going. So I'm coming to..." Fortress was packed with horses and troops gearing up. Meant to be a chill trip, but Bulk was already dead tired. As Bulk tried to reboot, someone said, it was Doan, seeing his wrecked face, asking you good. Maybe just a hangover and the mystery girl next to him. Doan asked who she was. Lucia said, Sacred Knight, hi. Since they were going the same way, Doan invited her. Bulk was hyped to meet a Sacred Knight. He buttered them up so hard, it got awkward. Doan asked when they leave. Bulk said they'd roll out. Early afternoon? So Doan said he'd be back by then. As they dipped, Bulk asked where to. Doan said, killed a demon, getting paid. Demon essence meant serious. Coin for the finder. And that's where they'd cash in. The Labyrinth office held their prize money, but they had a way bigger reason to visit. They needed to chat with a Diamond Palace big shot. Avid offered Doan a seat and a drink in his office. Soon, a hot drink showed up. Beating a demon first try was wild, but Doan shrugged it off. Just luck, fam. The guy gave him the weird flex, but okay. Twice now, Doan had bumped into these OP. He clocked Evan Earlyard, looked way different. Leva Hakim, face-swapping legend, one-man army. Doan needed this guy on his squad. Time to Evan said gods were stalking Doan. Only one fix for that. Doan started yapping about apostles, and demons, and how they never shut up about their deities. Maybe your gods are just creepy voyeurs with zero chill. He didn't even finish before the vibe got super heavy. Tea splashed. The guy glared. Watch it, that's blasphemy. Doan shrugged. Plain dumb. Hey, I'm not exactly a saint. The guy wasn't buying it. Do you know about that? Maybe you're faithless? Definitely not a local, though. Dude read Doan like a wiki. Awkward silence ensued. What's funny? He asked. Doan smirked. Never crossed the ice peaks. Guess you're 100-eye peeping Tom, and storyteller Gramps forgot that part. The guy grinned. He didn't expect Doan to know the lore. Okay, you're interesting. He kept going. You vibe like my friends. The ones called Transcendental. Crisis of Earth. Doan officially had the main character's attention. Then, straight to business. Got that demon loot? Let me see it. Later, the squad rolled through the woods. Doan and Lucia chilled inside. Doan slapped, heavy with gold. Didn't expect to pay out that fat. Plus, whatever Sienna snagged, serious stuff. He could finally buy op gear and shiny relics. A kid popped up at the window. Message from Bulma. You good? Doan gave a thumbs up. We're chilled in. You new? Kid felt like looking in a mirror from back in the day. Name? Doan asked. Parent. The kid squeaked. Third gig, still no official badge. Doan tried to hype him up. Grind hard? Kid. That badge is coming soon. Kid beamed. Lucia raised a brow. Wow. You have a heart? Doan blinked. Excuse me? Didn't think you did the nice two kids thing? She teased. Thought you were just a gold-digging sweat lord. Doan laughed. Kids just like I was. A total noob. Just as they were bonding, ambush. Someone screamed. Boom. Huge wave of orcs incoming. So much for peace. Don bailed out. Where's Bulma? System pinged. Dead noob nearby, plus a lightning user. Right, in the middle of the orc mosh pit. Stood the big boss. Doan screamed let's go, and led the charge. He sliced through orcs like butter. Then he slipped on the icy slush. Smooth. Too much grinding lately? He felt totally drained, scrambling for traction. An orc swung a club at him, but Parn blocked it. Clutch save. Yo, you good? Parn asked. Kid's legit. Doan thought. I'm solid, he said. No time to zone out. Bored now. Doan yeeted his axe, splitting the boss's wig. He rushed to loot the nasty green guy. Fight's over. Just dead orcs on snow now? Perrin geeked out. Lucia, you're the goat. Think I'm paladin material. She grinned. Keep grinding. You'll surpass me. You got skills? Then, why are orcs even here? They ain't locals. Turf, war runaways. Maybe. Doan tuned in. He needed the tea. Mobs are hyping up. Mountains are packed. Zero vacancy up there. Phase 1 of the big monster takeover. But Lucia said the aggression levels are still low. That's strictly Phase 2 drama. Tutorials over. They jumped straight to hard mode. He starts. Begin the bot. Ding. System says. New skills acquired. Stats bumped up by 1. Sweet. He unlocked Zap. Gonna need that and he was zoning out when the crew yelled. Let's roll. Come in. Doan hollered back. Ash, which meets imminent? City's packed. Mandrake gossip is spreading fast. He asks the merc, where to next? Chillin' here to sell loot. Then dippin'. Peace out. Lucia asks, why roll with merchants? No witches. Just textbook stuff. She shrugged. Born up, so everyone hated them. Barely any left now. And they basically hate all normies. Facts. And one's actually in town. Biggest hater ever. I'm here to delete her. Is she boosting the men? Those herbs scream and kill people when picked. Harvest a bunch. Mass casualty event. We gotta rush. Dallin said. Chill. I got a strut. A mouse started by. This spot has nasty vibes. And Lucia being a sacred night totally confirms it. The witch is cooking up a super intense ritual, and she needs lackeys to grab sacrifices. Inside, a guy demands ID. Don smirks, knowing he hit the jackpot. That gross mana smell? Definitely a dark mage den. Don claims he's here for the psychic. The creep didn't expect customers. Don drops a fake, my bad. Creepy eyes locks onto Lucia instantly. He grins. You guys definitely came to the right spot. He cracks the door open and waves them into the trap. They tail the short dude through the gloomy hallway. Don counts 6 creepers upstairs plus sorta thought makes 7 total. He tells the guy to hurry so he can get his reading from the lady, but Shorty says she's Mia prepping something huge. Before he finishes, a bunch of mages jump them. They think our heroes are free snacks for their greater cause. Don looks bored. Lucia just gets ready to throw hands. Boom. Magic skills light up the room like a rave. The mages try to attack, but it's totally pathetic. One wrecked dude finally realizes Lucia is a sacred knight. She doesn't even nod, just calls him disgusting. The others freak out and dogpile her immediately. Big mistake. Don just smiles at the mess. 'Cause honestly, he's the real monster here. Seconds later, survivors are crying on the floor. Don eyes one alive guy. The terrified mage stammers, asking who the heck are sent by the knights. Don just chokes him out. Scared stiff, the dude spills the location of the old lady. Exactly what Don was fishing for. He jokes that the mage is the sacrifice now. They enter the barrier. Dallin tells the guy to move his butt. No stalling. Evil mana spikes there, getting super close to the witch. Walking along, Dallin twitches. Lucia notices. What's up? Maybe he's crazy, but he felt the holy sword wiggle. Lucia says it's out of juice, but Dallin swears he felt a weird vibe. Anyway, she definitely feels the cursed energy here too. Before he can finish, Don spots a cage full of people. They're twisting in pain, and some look totally messed up. It's a super gross, cruel scene to look at. Lucia needs a hot second to process the horror. Look, it's Purin, that kid from their trip. She tries to rush in, but Dallin grabs her. Hold up. Why? She snaps, freaking out. Then, a creepy voice echoes. The witch is watching. For a barbarian, you're pretty sharp. She sneers. Wind blows, and she steps out grinning like a maniac. So rude, she says. Busting into my house like this. Rude much. Walking in without knocking is totally cringe. She teased. Lucia was shaking, furious, that this chick had the nerve to be so evil. But the witch just ignored her, totally fixated on the holy knight crashing her pad. The mage was shaking in his boots, crying, my bad. They made me do it, I swear. She was so over his drama. You had one job, bring sacrifices. She sighed. Naughty boys get grounded. Permanently. Dude tried to argue, but suddenly his face twisted up like a crushed soda can. Before she could roast the others, Don's axe smashed right into her mug. He was sick of the yapping and knew that Body was just a cheap knockoff. Quit hiding and come out. You coward, he shouted. She smirked, actually impressed. Not just a pretty face, huh? Brains too. Let's party, she grinned, asking if they wanted to beat up a helpless granny. She snapped her fingers, spawning massive wolves to keep Lucia busy. Don asked, you've got this? She nodded, acting tough, even though she was freaking out. Fight time. Don launched himself forward, closing the gap on the witch fast. He swung wildly, but couldn't land a single hit on her. She was loving it, dancing around him and laughing at his slow moves. She threw a fireball, daring him to show her what he was really made of. But Don charged his axe with lightning, catching her totally off guard. She was so focused on the fake, she missed him aiming at her real hiding spot. Boom! A massive blast rocked the distance, nailing the actual witch. Hacking up a lung, she realized she'd messed up big time. People in town were panicking, thinking the ground shaking was a quake. She wanted to wipe out the city, but Don knew she was just salty about her past. Doesn't matter though. You can't just kill people because you're mad. Her way of doing things was straight up savage and wrong. Revenge is one thing, but this, unforgivable. She needs to pay for her crimes. His little rant actually made her stop and think for a second. Even after hundreds of years, the memories still stung. Humans were always scared stiff of magic users like her, so they hunted them down and treated them like trash. She hated this random guy, judging her pain when he didn't know a thing about it. Her dark energy exploded, blasting Doan backward like a rat. That's when he spotted a tiny detail. Portals opened up everywhere. "I'm gonna fry you until you're just ash," she screamed. Lightning zoomed in. Doan gritted his teeth, scraping up every ounce of energy left. With one epic swing, he slapped the lightning away. A huge flash lit up the sky, leaving a giant scar on the earth below. Panting hard, Doan scanned the area. Did she bail, or was she hiding? He heard coughing. Honestly, that fight was a piece of cake. Guessed that dark god power was too much for her to handle yet. Gripping his blade tight, he was hyped to rage quit this battle right now. He zoomed at the witch like a caffeine addict, but she looked about as bothered as a cat in a sunbeam. Before he could land a hit, she just casually threw up a hand like, "Talk to the palm." Aside from being a massive headache, he was forcing her to burn through her secret stash of goodies. Doan had zero clue what goodies she was blabbering about. Peeping around, he saw the mandrakes starting to wake up from their nap time. The ugly thing started creeping out of the dirt in slow motion. Suddenly, it let out a screech that could shatter glass and probably eardrums too. Stuck in that noise nightmare, Don's legs turned to jelly and he face-planted hard. Red stuff trickled from his mouth while his body decided to go on strike. The witch giggled that it was a cute attempt, but he was basically a statue now. Charging up some major mojo, she whipped up a massive fireball overhead, planning to toast the merc like a marshmallow. She launched it, totally taking a cheap shot while he couldn't move. The blaze ate up everything, turning the whole view into a crispy wasteland. Dusting off her hands, she admitted Doan survived way longer than she bet he would. Honestly, she couldn't even recall the last time I had to sweat this much just to squish a regular human. Checking out her handiwork, she grinned, feeling pretty good about the chaos. Time to bounce and head back to the city. But a voice was like, "Yo, where are you going?" And a shiny new blade popped up. The witch's jaw dropped, screaming, "How are you not dead?" The merc was rocking the sacred sword, turns out. His hunch was spot on earlier. When she unleashed her magic, he felt the weapon vibe check him again. It gave a little shake, leaving the witch totally shook that this was actually real. Only the war god's faves can hold that thing, and somehow, Doan made the cut. Doan smirked, throwing shade, telling her even the big boss upstairs wants her evicted from life. He joked, the sword should have buzzed louder so he could have used the cheat code sooner. Gripping the hilt, he dared her to try again, promising to delete her for good this time. But the witch just wasn't having it, yelling that losing to a scrub like him was impossible. Sacred sword or not, beating her was a fantasy. Doan noticed burning ashes piling up everywhere. They were sizzling so hard, one touch would probably melt his face off. It was her signature move. The curse of the ashes. Powering up, she screamed that his chosen one status didn't mean squat. He was gonna end up as dust in a dustpan anyway. The holy blade came with 2 perks. First off, it was literally unbreakable. Doan braced himself, cranking his lightning skills up to 11. Juice flowing through the steel, he got ready to parry her nonsense. That triggered perk, number 2. A massive stat boost for the user. The witch blinked, stunned that her ultimate move got swatted away like a fly. While she was glitching out, Doan wound up for a counterstrike. Sword locked and loaded, he swung, catching her off guard since she thought his skills were uncool. This time, the blast ripped through the air, and she couldn't do a thing to stop it. Back against the wall, she busts out that curse one last time. But Don's way to ope right now. Boom! Blue light blasts the clearing. Sparks fly, frying the witch. Gasping, she taunts. "Think you won." Don's lost, so she spills the tea. She planted over 2,000 mandrakes nearby. One collective scream, and the whole town drops dead. Even if she croaks, her revenge plot still wins. Don's like, "Cool story, but mandrakes need dense forests to vibe." The witch nods, but claims he's helpless. Joke's on her though. Don grins. "I'll just delete the forest." Handy perk from that labyrinth demon? Fire rain. As he starts to cast it, the witch totally freezes. "How do you know Agnella's master spell?" she screams. Meanwhile, Lucia's still throwing hands. She dodges wolves, racing to back up Don. A wolf lunges at her, coming in hot. She sidesteps, kicks off a branch, and counters hard. Critical hit. Wolf blood sprays everywhere. The last wolf sees the carnage and starts shaking. Lucia doesn't hesitate, diving in for the finish. Super fast combo leaves the beast wrecked. Breathing hard, she rushes to find her buddy. Then she spots something wild on the horizon. Literal fire raining down, torching the woods. Meanwhile, Don's clothes burned off, but he's healing fast. The crispy witch just can't wrap her head around a human with top-tier magic and dragon blood. Before she can speak, she's dust in the wind. System ping. Target silenced. Finally, Don sighs. Villains always have the same lame lines. Looting time. But here comes Lucia, checking on him. "I'm good," he says. But she freezes, eyes wide. Her face goes tomato red, ready to pop. Don, totally clueless, doesn't get what's up until he realizes he's in his birthday suit. "A rough fight," he shrugs. Lucia screams. I don't care. Put some pants on, weirdo. She quickly tells him she grabbed gear, but orders him to cover his junk. Despite the chaos, the city's chill. Don finally suits up in high-tier gear, thanks to his cash. 2 days since the witch bit the dust. Mandrakes got toasted, so the merchants ghosted the city. Don pops in and Lucia hits him with a wave. She checks his vibe. He says, a quick nap, fixed him up. Dalen asks about the kid, who woke up but passed right back out. Sadly, the other captives didn't make it. Seeing the kid wrecked makes Don totally loathe and act. Maybe he was a cicade here just to wreck that dark god. Don asks Lucia how she's holding up post-fight. She's physically Gucci, but bummed they were too late to save the kid from this mess. Regarding the major guilt trip, Don can't fix it. Losing peeps sucks, and nobody wants a rerun of that trauma. Don says chill, we couldn't save everyone, but saving the kid is still a massive W. Peeping at him, Lucy vibes with that. Gotta stay positive, right? Don dips, asking her to watch the kid while he hits the woods. Says when she rushed him out, he forgot to grab some important loot. She roasts him for being a noob and burning his clothes off. Eyeing the wrecked woods, Don admits he didn't think the skill was this. Whatever, Mandrakes had to go. Sucks for the merchants though. Finally, spotted the goods. That which wrecked him tons of times. There are 5 bodies here. Time to start looting. Senses and strength up by 1 point. Herbalist and warrior were duds, but there's more loot left. Found a simp knight chasing the witch. He tries to remember the dude's name. Dude was a total simp for the witches. Looks all game. Cringe memory. Looting gives 1 stamina point. Also snagged a curse block skill. Super clutch against dark mages. He checks what's left. Last body to loot. Here goes. Weird vibes this time. Dark energy spawns a dagger. Don grabs it. Black moon spell. Slices. Magic like butter. Oh, but a sword can block it. Didn't expect bonus loot. Don's hyped to find the rest. Mission accomplished. Heading back. A weird flower pops up behind him. Perfect timing. That night, Don's chilling at the tavern with a drink. Good haul. For bodies and a sweet item. Best part, wielding that sacred sword. The knight said it was dead, so why'd it vibrate? Don's wondering if the war god actually picked him, or what. Mid-thought, some dude rolls up asking why he hasn't bounced yet. Shopkeeper spots his back and knows it's him. Creepy skill? Dalen's all, why you here? Hunting for a gig. Gallus claims his biz is huge, so prep takes forever. He asks about the kid. Dalen goes, he's messed up bad. Even Gallus felt bummed about the kid's luck. Feeling bad, he drops big cash for the kid's recovery snacks. Don eyes the cash pile. Yeshubra? Merchant guy says it's the bare minimum for knowing him. Don grins, digging the guy's vibe, telling him he's nicer than he looks. Gallus calls it his best trait. But then Gallus spills some sketchy tea. He heard zombies popping up in the north. Yikes. Don freaks. Say that again. Just gossip for now, Gallus says, spilling the deep. In Lingleyton, weird cult dudes just showed up out of nowhere. They're yelling end is not and building altars for a big boss. Right after those, creeps arrived. Nights got super weird. Skeletons clawed out of graves and raided the town. Don figures it's necromancer, nonsense, summoning big evil. Total disaster incoming, no doubt. That unkillable demons breaking loose. Ooh, total pain, since he actually can't die. Don brainstorms ways to handle this mess. It's stressing him, but he's got a killer idea. Gallus asks if Don has a clue about what's going down. Don calls it fake news, but thanks him anyway. Back at his crash pad, he thinks hard. Dragging that magic sword wasn't enough work. Then voices pop off. Lucia and the kid fighting over a road trip. She warns the boy could die if things get hairy, but he's ready to risk it all to tag along. Don tells him to chill and heal. Asks what the beef is. Lucia says the kid begged to go once he heard the plan. The boy insists he just wants to help out. Swears he won't drag him down. Risky move with his injuries. The road to the sword is gnarly, and there might be a rat in the crew, but the kid's vibe gets him. One look in those eyes, and he knows. Don asks if he can pack. The kid's like, totally. Can he camp? He says, yep, just slowly. Done deal. Kid's hired as a Porter-Merc hybrid. He's super stoked about it. Lucia watches, totally nervous though. She's worried the kid won't make it, but Don totally came in clutch with a surprise item. Just some loot he snagged on the road. Perron's eyes are popping out of his head. Dude's holding a legit mandrake. Don tosses the herb over. Lucia is shocked. She thought those things were extinct. Guess this little plant didn't get the memo and survived the fire. Don announces they bounce tonight. Eat up, kid, don't be dead weight. Darkness finally swallows the city. They hit the trail. The kid's passed out on Lucia's lap, sweating buckets. She flags Don down. Hey, we gotta take 5. The poor guy is running on 0% battery. They've been grinding for hours. So Don agrees to a pit stop. Lucia smiles. Glad you're helping him. Didn't think you had a heart? Wow, thanks for the low opinion of me. She's been training the kid per Don's orders, and he's actually leveling up fast. His moves against the orcs, no fluke. She sees Sacred Knight potential. Sir Per has a pretty sweet ring to it. Suddenly, Don gets a massive creepy vibe. Lucia, she felt that weird energy too. Don trots ahead. You catch that? Yep, major bad news. They roll up to a house. The air reeks of iron and bad decisions. Lucia suggests they investigate. Don's down for it. They prop the kid on a tree, fingers crossed. He's safe, and the door creaks open. Heavy door. A woman says hello and calls them visitors. Weird. Bet the trip here was a nightmare, she chirps. She's dressed like a maid, but Don smells something worse than blood. It's that nasty stench of death hanging in the air. The smell of a predator that snacks on people like popcorn. Just the two of you? She asks, sizing up the menu. 3. Don corrects. 2 rooms, 3 meals, make it snappy. She tells them to hang tight. Don knows she's totally catfishing him. His spidey senses are screaming that this lady is bad news. He glances at Lucia. Need anything special? Bath first. Food later, she says. Don nods. You head up. I'll grab parent. He shoots her a look. Play along. Lucia gets it. Place is a trap, but they gotta act cool. Dinner's served. Lady acts nice, and Don plays the polite guest. Breaking bread? He asks. So, ... Pretty quiet around here, huh? Business slow. She claims she had guests last month. Hear any rumors? Don chews slowly, thinking face on. Heard some zombies were wandering a town nearby? Walking corpses? Crazy talk. She laughs nervously. The kid pipes up. You from the Empire? She gets super defensive. I am, he says. You got the same accent as me. Oh, grew up there, she admits. Haven't been back in 10 years? 10 years. He's shocked she hasn't lost a twang yet. His power ghosted him a year back, so he asks how she kept hers. Dead silence. Don was totally vibing with the kid's brain. Perfect excuse to let his axe go wild. He stands, and boom, bad guys. Hurt, they mumble about a monster. Don realizes Lucia is upstairs. He asks if the monster is some holy knight. Toweling off, she says they jumped her right at bath time. Rude. Big yikes. Don eyes her. Spill the tea. Smirking, she says she planned to eat him, but can't now. Bummer. She chants some spell, and the vibe gets absolutely rancid. Then zombies start popping up like unwanted ads. Corpses everywhere. Classic necromancer nonsense. Parent slashes a zombie, but gets shook by the result. Half a head missing, and it's still coming. 0, chill. Lady says, they're dead, bro. Can't kill what's dead. When you tire out, I'm snacking on you. Just give up. Don hacks 1. True facts. Dead, stay dead. But there's a cheat code. His dagger cancels spells. Bye-bye zombies. He grips the blade and walks up like a boss. Don's ending this. First hit. Absolute banger. Necroladia shook. Her spell just got deleted. Versus magic spam, you got to equip the right gear. That knife wrecks magic with just a poke. One scratch puts a fatal curse on the caster. OP weapon. Meanwhile, Tyron's trying not to be zombie lunch. Lucia spots the kid in trouble. Panic mode. Hang on, she yells. He goes, chill. I got this. The skeleton is getting way too close for comfort. Suddenly, the bone bag shuts down and face plants on the grossed out kid. Lucia's confused. Did the witch kick the bucket? Kid calls for backup, so she rushes over. Hurt bad. The witch asks, how'd you break my spell, cheater? But she wasn't sticking around for story time. Too bad. Black dagger strikes again. More cuts for her. While she rides, Don asks if the sacrifices were for the demon. She'll better start yapping fast. ... cause his patience is running on empty. Eating people was just a gross hobby. Total psycho. Lucia yells. Issues here. Basement check found tied up, folks. The hostages spilled the tea on everything. The immortal demon already busted out of jail. Hearing that, he tells her, sleep. We bounce at dawn. He heads out. Lucia's like, yo Merc, where to? He doesn't blink. Gonna catch that demon? She's floored. It's unkillable and risky. So naturally, she's like, I'm coming with. He told her to chill. He's got a plan. Plus, Don never mentioned taking him out. Gripping the cursed relic, he swore he was just gonna capture the guy. 300 years back, a monster totally wrecked the world. It was that unkillable demon the Holy Knights beefed with, but since he couldn't die, they kinda failed hard. Best they could do was slap a divine seal on him to stop the chaos. Or so, the game lore says, and he's headed to that demon cave right now. Creepy cultists are bunching up at the entrance to do some evil stuff. One guy is whining about how slow they're moving. Another asks the boss for permission. But the priest yells, just get inside. The young guy just wants to save his kid and get her out of there. The priest slaps him. Shut it. You're worth more, to me, dead. He raised his hand to hit the guy, claiming the girl was next, but a flying axe interrupted that cowardly clown. Before he could do any more damage, his face caught the axe. With one creep down, the rest screamed, "Who did that?" Because they planned to totally wreck whoever it was. Dalen stepped up like a boss. Another dummy got attacked instantly. One tried to warn them, but got his throat sliced mid. Don kept slicing through these losers with his dagger. The family watched as the cultists screamed their heads off. Once the chaos stopped, he thanked the merc. But then the corpse's eyes popped open. Zombie time. Totally, the work of that necromancer guy over there. Don was like, where did this clown even come from? The wizard dude ordered the zombies to attack the merc. Don, having zero patience, just wrecked them all. Stephen Bodie's went flying like crash test dummies. The mage was cooked. Don chucked a dagger right into the clown's leg. The guy ran inside, so Don followed him to find their hideout. While walking, a system notification went. Dang, his combat skill was just 1% away from max level. He checked his status. Proficiency was at 99%. Can't wait for 100. The demon still had one hand chained up. It said people with desires are basically snacks. The priest told the demon to chill. More food is coming soon. Soon, he'd be back to full power. The necromancer ran in yelling, "Emergency! Intruder alert!" The cultists got mad at him for interrupting the ritual. He gasped that some guy killed everyone and freed the captives. The demon roasted them for losing to a single human. He couldn't believe he had to rely on these bugs, so he started eating them instead. Blood went everywhere. That demon energy was tasty. Don thanked him for doing the job. Saved him the trouble of squashing cult. Demon peeps him. You raided my crib. Spots a holy sword. Weird. He's no knight. Hey, whatever. Who cares? Chains snap. Witness my power. Kid. He flicked. Sword goes zap blue. Lightning mode activated. Blocks it instantly. Too easy? Demons shook. Broken use territory. Acid mist incoming. Don stays ice cold. Demons watching. Like, okay. Respect. Don toggles. His anti-curse buff. Elf seals. Weak sauce against a boss. Uh-oh. WHACK. Tentaco to the face. Dropped your toy. GG demon laughs. But then, regen kicked in. Need a shield. He thinks, I'll curse you till you delete. Demon roars. Don thinks fast. Skill, evolution. Max level. 100% mastery unlocked. Mercenary froze for a sec. Rage quitting. The beast sneers. Big brain play. Wear territory, like armor. Demon's bored. Gonna burn you to ash now. Huge fire beam. Don doesn't even flinch. Fire. Nice. Armor crafting time. Mana surges. Territory armor. On glowing. Chant. Boom. Demon's jaw hits the floor. New skin. Demons. Totally confused. Done gawking. Don smirks. Cause it's beat down o'clock. Demon can't handle the vibes. Whatever. Time for the beast to warp space. Tries a sneak attack. Sucker punch. Armin had 0. Time to react. Don spams a combo. Getting wrecked. How's he so up? Punches flying? No breathing room. When did this guy get so buff? Charged punch. Face meets pavement. Final hit goes kaboom. Just mashing the attack button on his face. Arvin shrinks, crying. PL stop. Don knows that escape strats bro. Hated that mechanic. He keeps swinging. Tiny and trembling. The immortal demon bows, waving the white flag. While the little squirt stays humble. MC grabs a chain. Finally, you're useful. The catch? This chain only works if the target doesn't fight back. Snap. The creature's core gets locked up. Demon begs for mercy, terrified of getting wrecked by his new boss. Don's shadow swallows the tiny guy whole. Call me master. The demon realizes his life just hit rock bottom. Sun starts peeking over the mountains. Lucia and Pom are chilling by the inn, waiting for their butt. They're stressing out cause MC ghosted them till dawn. A shape pops up, a Farpum calls it. Lucia she can't see squat. Hero walks up, dragging the demon like a plushie. She spots the baggage. Lucia's like, is that what I think it is? Yep. Immortal Arbin. Pum starts playing with Arbin like a puppy. Lucia asks how he bagged the demon, since even holy knights couldn't, so they just sealed Armin away. Don asks, did the knights really seal him 300 years back during the wars? Halman's chain vanished a century before that, fighting so they didn't have the gear to pull this off. Lucia laughs at how much of a nerd he is, unlike the bob he usually gives off. Don's like, wait, how do you see me? The kid stops gnawing on the monster. He spots something. Yo, we hit the Noria Kingdom checkpoint. He yells, entrance is packed with rides and peeps. Pum shook by the crowd size. MC goes, guess the rumors were legit. Guards are checking everything. MC sweats, his gold stash looks sus. Don snaps at our, how's subspace work? The demon explains he's out of juice, so he has to use his mouth to cast it. Before he finishes, Don jams the money bag down his throat and tells him to stash it in subspace. ASAP. Then the squad rolls up to the gate. A sleepy guard asks them to hold up for a check. IDs, please. Don flashes his card real quick. Where do MC says, Holy Knight's HQ fam. He yanks Pum closer. Don says the Knight thinks her lil bro has potential to join up. The guard, says Sarah to Lucia. Just checking for neck. Then he hypes the kid up. He's got night eyes already. Then he asks for a quick blessing for the little guy. Pum is loving the VIP treatment. Don side-eyes the kid. The boy is grinning ear to ear. Seeing that smile makes our guy feel pretty clutch. Suddenly, some dude screams for the crowd to clear a path. A knight sprints for the city gate, but the guard blocks his way. But the rider yells that he's carrying urgent mail. Lucia clocks him as Auckland, and the messenger recognizes her too. Auckland's stoked to see Lucia cause he's got Major T to spill. Don identifies the messenger as a legit holy warrior. Auckland drops the bomb. The commander ordered Lucia's squad to book it. Everyone is totally lost on that one. The warrior reveals the Holy Knights split up. Basically, it's Civil War time. Back in the day, those knights ruled the map and had mad rep. The fact that they're now stuck in a tiny kingdom is because the commander got greedy for power. Now they want to take back the glory from 300 years ago. The knights cheer, the speech, rallying with the Ash, which, a major baddie. It's the vice commander of the Holy Knights Everlock. Don planned to visit this guy, not find him starting drama already. Our hero knows the finale's coming in hot. Splitting knights who've been solid for 1,000 years. Impossible. Unless the vice commander plotted with that which, with his witchy ally dead, he must be desperate for a final stand. Lucia tells Don they can call the job done right here. Hero asks if she needs backup, but she says it's too risky for outsiders. She promises to wire the cash for the heroes. Sword hauling services once the dust settles, but Don's like, nah, I'm keeping the sword. It picked me. The thing was a dead battery until our boy touched it. To him, that means the big guy upstairs chose him. Doesn't matter if it's the sword or ink, you need holy juice to make M work. The best place to get that juice is the Rift of Knight's Guard, and he can't get in there until this mess chills out. Don says he's got plenty of reasons to join this brawl. Lucia gives her bud a thumbs up for the assist. Hero tells her it's late, so go catch some Z's. Since hitting Palin, he's been tangled with that evil god, and apostles, Warchef Ashwichal linked to the big bad. Arbin suddenly pops out of a portal, like, surprise, startling the hero, rambling about being born from a monster pot. Don smacks the demon for showing up. Uninvited root. That's when our guys spot something sketchy in the woods. An assassin boss signals his crew to freeze. He orders to hit, and sword-wielding creeps rush out for a sneak attack. Targets totally exposed. Intel flunked hard, totally ignoring the knight's playbook. If they snag that blade, their squad wins the whole war. Boom Don ghosts them instantly. Bossman hears his lackey getting wrecked. Tries yapping that some random hired gun can't handle the sword, butt slice. He's toast before his brain boots up. Same as his crew. Main character energy. He spams combos so fast, nobody can even twitch. Weird shiny light pops out of the woods. Don's reflexes are insane blocks. That chain whip. It retracts, showing who threw it. Hero tracks the weapon back to the bad guy, ready to delete him. But wait, Don senses a bunch of missiles incoming fast. Sword skills active. He shreds the chain and slices bullets mid-air. Matrix style, he eats a magic blast. Right back where those shots spawn from. Don's gotta squash that shooter before they bail. Vice Commander played politics, forcing the Spec Ops boss into this shady side. So our guy knows if just one goon dips, the next raid's gonna be way nastier and leveled up. Shooters floored. Tanking, magic damage. Gallons like Vice Commander sent ya. Shooters shook. How'd you know? Hero figures that Slimeball's style is obvious. Soldier dude rages at the diss. Guy jumps up, screaming at the hero for roasting his boss. Then blasts a huge fireball right at our hero's mug, for knight's honor, or whatever. Mid-monologue bam fist meets face. Helmet dents, face caves in. Don't play with fire. Kid thinks this knight's too risky to keep around. Suddenly, hero spins and flings daggers at some shady figure creeping in the woods. But the mystery guy blocks it like it's nothing. Smooth sword flick, dagger drops. Knight says my bad for the jumps. Dude casually grabs the dagger off the floor. Knight explains he heard the vice commander sent his squad on a run. Came to help, but yeah, showed up a bit late to the party. Don takes his knife back. Nah, your timing's clutch. Warrior calls him God's chosen one. Heroes chill, says Highback politely. It's the Holy Knight boss. Edgar Lionheart. Lucia win. Knight rushed an invader with just a knife and got scratched. Edgar's always telling Lucia, don't get cocky when you're winning. Pam's hyping up, asking if this guy is really the legendary guide, the future-seeing knight leader. Edgar nods. Yep, that's me. Sadly though, he can't spoil everything in the future. War God's buff lets him catch glimpses of what's next. That's how the knights survive all these raids. The cheat code to see ahead. Even time travel has glitches. Just like the lion guy said, dude couldn't even stop his VP from going total rogue. Fail. Lucia's like, hey, Edgar, you got a GPS location for this trip? Boss says, God DM a vision. Holy Knight, Sword Kid, and a hobo. Bam is totally vibing with being called a swordsman. Don't thinks it's definitely fate, the commander spotted. A1ID one-armed warrior at Night HQ. What are the odds? Edgar's like, we need that holy tat, and to fix the sword drama. Commander figures if Galen is actually gonna join the party. He needs the war plan downloaded. Hero asks, solo run, but Edgar says, Lucia is tagging along. Suddenly, Mage Elder crashes the chat, shook to see his pal. Old guy cracks up, amazed to find a homie way out here. Some young dude next to Elder gives our hero props too. He's like, whoa, you've leveled up big time since back then. Dawn's confused. Elder, why are you even at this spawn point? Mage explains the Bass has these insane mountain shields. Jangla El Gaius, top tier wizard from the tower. Born over 1,200 years ago. Coded that magic. Doan had no clue, but Elder's here to learn the barrier. Tech. Switching gears, Mage asks. So, find a sensei yet? Elder can tell our boy's stats skyrocketed since the last meet. Just seeing his glowing aura gets the wizard all hyped. Doors open. Lucia's sorry. Pum was busy signing up for the guild. Squad's all here, so the commander is ready to spill the tea on their grim situation and the master plan. The rogue VP is spamming attacks, even captured Sanctuary 3. They caught a minion last night and grilled him for info. Turns out the Knights and the Special Ops team got hit with a nasty brainwashing curse. Total zombie mode. Lucia's stumped. Aren't Holy Knights supposed to be? Edgar reckons IT's gotta be a witch or a dragon trolling them. Doan asks, the Rift Dragon, does it seriously have that much juice? The big boss thinks, to smash the curse, they gotta raid the underground ruins. Elder spots the same storm map. Commander nods. Yeah, that's the one. Top secret map, by the way. Intel says the curse generator is hiding deep in the dungeon. Use the tunnels, and they can sneak past guards, Metal Gear style. Edgar's job is to rally troops and pull aggro on the enemy. The evil VP screams charge, sending his dudes into the fray. Everlock tells his crew, focus up, defense is the game. Commander Finishy, go kill that curse source. Creeping in the tunnels, Doan gets a major hit of nostalgia. Time to snatch his body back? Demon Jim here, waste using the pet as a backpack. So he's scouting for a split second to dip out unseen. Map twins are lost. Is this even the right way? Doan and Lucia cite sketchy guides. One bro claims deeper down has way fewer covens, like his missing Uncle Sid. Doan chills, hoping the rest isn't a death trap. Arbin pops out of a portal. Shocked, there's 0 traps, yet. Weird, right? He jinxed it. Lil dude begs not to be ended. Boom! Weird noise cuts the chat. Walls shake. Doan flips on Extravision. MC spots, gears, grinding behind the brick. Clumsy twins stomp to trigger. It's a trap. Click. Another creepy sound echoes. Wall slides open. Arrows rain down on M. Almost got him, but Hero whips his blade out. One shot whizzes past. MC aim for Lucia. Dallin saves her. Sweating bullets. Hero knows they are totally cooked now. Book it, yells Doan. Elda shields up fast. Tunnel collapses behind. Lucia screams and runs. Rocks seal the exit. No U-turns allowed. Doan spots another trap lighting up on the wall. MC instantly the thing. Lucia yells, how much longer? Hilton goes, map says this spot is safe, but he's panicking. Is he reading it wrong? Maybe. Hero realizes. We aren't dodging traps. We're running straight into them. Doan grabs the demon. Spill the tea. Now? Arbin says, the Guardian is pulling the levers. These ruins run on souls. The demon adds, traps won't stop until we get out. It hits the MC, real bad. The trap is literally hunting them down. Rundone yells, I'll be right behind you. Elder tries to argue, sees MC's face, stops. Mage is shoot. MC leveled up crazy fast. They decide to keep moving. Galen blasts a wall. Brick starts shifting. Boom. Hallway morphs into a huge room. Wait, The MC knows this place. Arbin plays human GPS for his boss. Lil Demon spots the glowing energy trail left behind. Hero Guy follows the lead blindly. Suddenly, huge rocks drop from the ceiling. Traps trigger everywhere. But Doan smashes MEZ. Hazards keep coming. He keeps slicing like a ninja. Totally untouched. He busts through a wall crack. Dude admits that combo nearly cost him everything. Arbin brags, you're welcome for the ride. Boom. They're at the spooky king's grave. Door opens. Gas spews. And his seal skill pops. Guess that green stuff is the curse fuel. Big bad vibe inside screams. Trespass. Guardians, mad he woke the king. Die time. Skelly starts casting a nasty spell to put M in a nightmare coma forever. But wait, Hero Bro tanks the hit like a champ. Buffs up, anti-curse on, plus that. Dragon healing, Doan shrugs off. The op attacks? It's either get cursed or slice Boneboy in half. Boss taunts if the shield can handle nuke level magic. Doan dives in. Gotta speedrun this fight right now. Spell fires, but Arbin warps in last second. Doan thinks game over, but Demon starts munching. Arbin goes full vacuum mode, sucking up every bit of dark mojo in the room. Baza shook, how'd that shrimp do that? Good job, buddy. Keep snacking. Doan yells. Then he rushes and wrecks the skeleton. Quest done. Arbin asks. Doan nods. One curse left. Grabs the body and jar. Just a lucky loot run. Doan recalls when the beast nearly jarred him. Doan grabs Arbin and warns him. This is for your own good. No hate. Little guy is totally clueless. Before he can speak, Doan smashes his face in the jar. Bunk. Jar breaks. Demon is dizzy and super salty. I'm Arbin, the immortal. He rages. Doan ignores the rant. He feels the loot power. Ding, you got the sneaky warrior's body? Doan feels fresh energy. Flowing. +1 strength. +2 proficiency. Skill unlock. Gets a rare sword and a compass item. The hero then, he is totally hyped about that explorers. I loot. Menu check. Level 14 baby. New gear unlocked and ready to rock. That new weapon is a rank mythical drop. Sick. But honestly, the compass is the real MVP right now. With the eye, just think of the target and boom, compass points the way. Doan pictures Lucia. Bet she is at the curse's core already. Yep, the arrow spins right to the squad. He chills, thinking no more traps. Then bam, Arbin morphs up. Huge. Now, the demon talks smack about getting embarrassed earlier. But Doan wrecks him in one hit. He tells Arbin, if you are done snacking, let's bounce. The lil dude giggles like he was just trolling. Just checking. Doan asks if he has got tummy room left. But the mini monster claims he is stuffed. Lucia fights an elite and screams at the twins about disarming the curse core. The knights yell back they are still on it, but it is way tougher than expected. Lucia boots her guy, telling the crew to rush. He lands by his buddies. Now she is staring down a whole army squad. She knows she is only here because Doan cleared the traps. Cornered and frantic, she needs to wrap this up and save her pal. Some dude calls her a dirty hound and swings a giant axe. Rude. She ducks. That blade nearly shaved her eyebrows. Suddenly, a rock smacks his face. Clutch save. The two mages are backing her up too. Elder feels bad vibes. He shoves the rookie to safety. Elder puts up a rock wall, but an attack smashes right through. He tries casting an energy shield, but the hit wrecks it instantly, launching Elder way back. The kid screams for his master, freaking out. The enemy sword is glowing with a creepy blue vibe. Lucia's like, bold move. Everlock, leaving the walls for these ruins. He snaps, I did not teach you to call your boss by his first name. Lucia zooms at him like a lightning bolt, but he blocks it, no sweat. His sword stops hers, easy. Lucia just wants to rage quit this fight. She's traitor, but he parries every single one. Everlock asks if she offed her buddy, the one with Hellman's chain. She demands to know how he knows that the traitor admits the demon was supposed to live and level up. Everlock says he sent a newbie knight with a holy sword, losing to a rookie. Total cringe. Lucia rages, swearing to make him regret it. Everlock hypes her up. The knight just eats himself at the geezer like a homing missile. The floor starts cracking way too hard between these boom. Arbin and Dallin pop out of the dirt like surprise party guests. Lucia is totally stoked. Her bestie is actually alive. H-Bro rage quits on the core, but his twin thinks they can still clutch it. The demon drifts to the shiny thing like a creepy Arvin thinks the curse is gorge, so he just scarfs down the core for his boss. No questions asked. Meanwhile, the squad starts waking up like they had a rough night out. Everlock's brain glitches, wondering how the core is poof, and why some random meathead has the holy sword. Arbin flops over, stuffed. Doan dares the old guy to throw hands. If he's so salty, he should just try grabbing the blade back. Everlock is too triggered to see the tall hoodie creep sneaking up behind him. The mystery dude tells the VP he's absolutely trash. Even with hacks enabled, he can't beat basic noobs. Guy says if Ev signed with the witch, he shouldn't need rescuing like a total loser. A dragon claw grabs at the shaking VP, and Snap Everlock gets deleted from existence. Lucia demands the intruder do a face reveal and pay for crashing their turf, but Dallin blocks his friend. Dan tells her to chill. This boss is way out of her league. A pop-up names him Blue Scales. Dude thinks it's funny. These bugs want smoke. RMC claims he's got some skills to try out on a mob that isn't weak sauce. Guy morphs into a dragon, saying he doesn't speak dumb human. So, the hero swears he'll make it crystal clear what's about to go down. A grunt tells the boss the bad guys are folding. Then bam, the enemy team just wipes. Edgar yells at his crew to heal the injured first. The boss knows his buddy totally nailed the quest. Edgar flashes back to seeing monsters raiding the base. He's glad that Nightmare is paused, but the leader gets a bad vibe check. While the troops patch people up, the boss wonders if it's actually game over. Something blasts out of the ground like a volcano. Someone asks to rush in, but the boss says, group up for a boss raid. A huge blue dragon digs out, and a shiny light zooms right at it. Edgar realizes that this is the god-tier hero. Doan flies at the beast like a rocket. Swinging the holy sword, the MC aggros the beast. A giant blue laser slices the dragon and disappears far off. The monster claps back with breath fire, hitting our boy midair. With no backup, Don't just free falls hard. He's nearing the floor, realizing he has zero double jump mechanics here. The dragon roasts him, saying go kiss the dirt, calling him a total worm. A system pop-up says the sky jump is 100% loaded, but bro can't jump without a floor. Dragon ain't waiting, cues atop, no ground. Air step glitch, it is. Kicks air, flies up, chin checks the beast. That hit knocked its lights out, and they both drop. Impact wrecks the zone. Dust cloud blinds everyone for a sec. Dawn rushes in, sword mode active. He is just a blurry speed demon now. Can hear the monster's ticker thumping. Swings fast, but big guy dodges it. Dragon gloats, then attacks. Blocked. Beast is confused. How do you do that? Dawn asks, ready for round 2? Dragon opes. Out. Flying high. Charging up the ultimate blue slash. Magic circles spam all around him. Beast dares him to tank the hits. Lasers pew-pew straight at monster's cocky. Hero just smirks. Dragon feels a pinch in the heart. Magic, glitch. Edgar nerf-fed the boss. The captain admits he digs idea of Dawn getting the Slayer cloud. Giant, shield up. Dragon's big mad. Dawn grins. Props to the boss man. ... Rude to waste a free combo meal. Equips new toy, eats a dagger. Bullseye to the heart. Still not dead. Boss rushes, spitting blue fire. Huge flames, but Dawn jumps right in. Tries to slice the spicy magic fire. Going full tryhard mode to hold on. Hands shaking from the heavy grind. Screaming clash. Dragon roars back. Boom. He deflects the magic. Light beam to space. Neck sliced. G. Sun's out ding. New notification. Achievement Slayer. Boss wrecked. Battle's over. Knight's on cleanup duty. Commander is totally shook by Plus, Dragon Blood gives him auto. Edgar says, we won and caught a pet. Knight boss bows down to the lizard slayer. Respect. Edgar yells at squad 1, 2. Haul the wounded. Dawn thinks yikes. Close call. Almost took the L against that wyvern. Again. Plus, he would have missed out on that sweet body loot. Loot secured. Stats up. Strength, skill, and mana. Bonus round. Found a thief's corpse near the armory. Snagging this spirit doesn't just give X. It unlocks an invisibility cloak. Stealth mode. Stoked on the gear. Now, time for the dragon boss. Dawn stabs the beast deep. Sorry, not sorry. Checks the coast. Then Yoink rips the heart out. He eats it to Arbon and says, don't lose this. The demon is low-key salty. About being a backpack. Tired hero goes. Zip it. Elite mobs, traps, dragon boss, too much drama. Way above a normal person's pay grade. Mission over. Gotta head back to Pulian, ASAP. With 1 life, he needs remote control powers. To level up, he might need to hit up Sienna. Hope the Raven's Nest hasn't moved spots. Misses the booze, but first, sleep. He's cooked. Everlock wakes up screaming his head off. Gasping for air, alone in some creepy cave. Why'd the dragon eat him here? No clue. Suddenly, his magic starts glitching out. Is it 'cause I blasted that old wizard? His mana bar is basically empty. Super weird. Maybe the witch contract messed him up. Or Gully. Ooh, whatever. Stop over. Just gotta focus. Bro, lock in. Then a creepy voice goes, you're useless trash. Wyvern died for you. Only the contract saved your butt. Everlock's shaking, looking at who's there. Dragon Queen, but she ain't happy. Slamming him down. Don't say my name without a pass. She says this dude didn't just fail. He breached the contract and is now dead weight. Struggling, he gasps. I did my part. Swear. He explains she wanted out of the rift. But he ran out of time to grab the sacred sword. Got the barrier key instead? Not a total fail. She admits that was actually kinda clutch. Reward time, a new power to play with. Don't let me down this time, kid. Someone spills the tea to Dawn. The vice commander swiped a holy night treasure. Lucia goes full mom mode, roasting the MC for chatting with a mouthful. Dude hits back with, hey, die full. Stay pretty even. If your buds hate it, right? Anyway, Lucia warns this. Theft is super hush. MC's dying to know what got jacked. His buddy says Everlock tried to bounce with all the sacred blades, but got wrecked fast. She thinks it's a total no-brainer. That the VP dipped to Chinan's cave way down in the rift. Dude swiped the barrier keys. Dawn's like, yeah, that's big yikes. The base is totally boxed in by mountains. Walls are juiced with mana, so monsters can't fly the coop. That's the rift's big bad fence. Edgar says he only snagged one key. Barrier's weak, but still Lucia thinks the VP needs time to crank that key, but a traitor holding it is already Dawn's instantly, like I'm down to help. Lucia's shook, but our boy knows they spilled the tea for a recruit. Looking guilty? She admits. Yeah, they need his muscle. Dalen asks if the squad is already picked. Bloss says it's an Inquisitor, plus top-tier Knights Felver and Tommy. MC reminds him he's a gun for hire. Show him the cash, and he'll handle the trash. Lucia asks what a Dragon Slayer actually costs. Chasing Everlock means diving deep into the rift, basically monster bait. Since they're in a jam, the hero has some demands. Don's got a list of 3 things he needs. MC grips the compass, locking onto the VP, hiding in the rift. Boom, holy tats done, before he knew it. Don, thanks to boss. Edgar's like, nah bro, you're the one grinding hard here. Usually, you need a week of chilling. Heal fresh ink, but this Merc speedrun, 3 in 1 week. Marks will sync up soon. Now Don just got a crash. Scored 2 tats for the last gig, plus 1 prepayment for the next. But that dragon blood inside him, trying to heal the cuts, but holy magic is keeping the ink stuck. Don pops the menu to check his stats real quick. Dragon blood is just a starter pack power, super basic, but our boy's already grinded it to 90%. He's shocked, the XP bar filled up so much in no time. Gotta be his first C rank to hit 100%. Jump and combat armor. Totally maxed out too. He's hyped to see how OP he'll be when the C rank skill peaks. Horses are already trotting out for the quest. Squad's leaving the valley. Don secured his second bag too. Snagged a sweet magic axe relic like it was free loot. Bossman probably didn't care. Figured it was a fair swap. Some random dude slides up to chat with our main man. Top tier Knight Morg goes, yo, honor to squad up with the Dragon Slayer. Morg's fanboying cause Lucia said he wrecked those mobs solo. Wild, hearing her name hits him right in the feels. Lucia's chilling at the barracks, sitting this mission out. He pauses, then goes, if that's her vibe, I won't stop her. Cause Palma's officially a holy knight now. Big league stuff, so she's gonna play sensei and train the kid back at base. She knows she is an OP like our hero. Anyway, figures she's more help there. Don tells Morg, wasn't solo. Brat, Lucia had his back. Knight's stoked to see her level up someday. Soldier keeps yapping about the dungeon run like a creepy just hyping up how our boy crushed that maze. All this energy gives him major elder vibes. But the wizard's been dead silent since the sanctuary brawl. Morg, still bouncing off walls, yells, yup, I ain't done. Knight keeps rambling. Hero's wondering if he needs earplugs. Inside the rift, hitting supply base number 3. Morg yells, last pit stop, we hit Estra Fortress in 2 days. Deeper they go, the more this place looks like a total maze. Big river splits, the map humans here, monsters, over there. Estra's built right on the water, massive defense base. It's the biggest stronghold besides HQ actually. Gotta pass 3 checkpoints just to get to the front door. Warren's like, once we hit Estra, no breaks, straight, grinding, so they're breaking down the whole game plan right now. Think the villains hiding in Demon Valley, past the river. Terrain's a nightmare of twisty valleys. Super easy to get lost. Lucky for them though, they got Elder, the mage who reads the Earth's hard drive. Mage goes, Earth never forgets. Rocks will snitch on him. Moore asks if our guy's got that tracking gadget handy. You know, the relic for hunting people down. So he flashes the magic compass. Boom, 2 ways to find him. Time to figure out the boss fight strat when they catch him. Suddenly, the merc gets a weird vibe. Something's up. Our boy shuts his eyes and locks in. Weird energy zips past the horses, heading for the gate. Don snaps his eyes open. He knows exactly what's cooking. Moore's talking, but Hero cuts him off. Save it. We got drama. Horses go 0 to 100 immediately. Warren asks, what gives? Then feels the bad vibes too. Up on the tower, a soldier starts barking orders. He's yelling at his squad when he spots the knight rolling up. The guard instantly clocks who's coming. So the boss barks, open the gates for the Slayer squad. That guard welcomes him like, yo, been waiting for you guys. Sorry for the weak intro, he says, but we're kinda dying here. Morg asks for the tea, and the leader spills the bad news. They peek over the wall. Yup, enemy banners everywhere. Don knows the vibe. It's totally Chank's crew. Thousands of gnolls rushing the walls like it's Black Friday. Cap screams for the archers to knock and load. Arrows fly, but the beasts are already grappling up the walls. Clank a hook snags the edge. Monster hops up, claws out, but Cap gets a last-second save. Don and the gang finally jump into the mosh pit. If Shang's goons are here, Estra Fortress is already toast. This place is just a glorified snack station. Not enough dudes to defend it. Total countdown to doom. Don's gotta take charge fast. He hollers at Morg. Slayer announces, I'm leaving this mess to you, buddy. Before the knight can argue, Don yeets himself off the wall. He pops a jump skill and literally dude pauses mid-air, hovering right over the ugly mob. Gotta thin the herd before dropping the big magic nuke. Don charges a mech. Last thing those gnolls ever see. Skill activate. Hegelius. Fire. Rain. Class C. Blazing mirrors rain down like spicy confetti. The beasts just scream. Total panic mode. Blue light flashes. Then boom. Don sticks a superhero landing. With a wicked swing of his shiny holy blade, he launches an energy wave at the losers. He knows the main boss is gonna show up any second. Bam! Monster Commander lands. Intense staring contest in. Don wants a speedrun, so he keeps tossing creeps aside. Morg is totally shook by the Slayers' insane power, but he spaces out and a null jumps him. Knight doesn't even see the game over screen coming. Miracle time. A rock spike shoots up and saves his butt. Thanks, Elderfell. He's stoked to be alive. Kami yells, more incoming. I got this. Master. Kid Mage blasts a stone pillar toward the tower. Bonk. It smacks a climbing gnoll right in the face. Elder knows they're drowning in enemies. Area's too big to guard, but quitting ain't an option. Don's going full try-a-hard mode to catch the win. Elder's pushing his limits so he doesn't look like a noob. Gramps is glowing like a giant gold nightlight, and it's getting huge. Total chaos. Some dudes are winning, others are getting wrecked. Pops feels everything. Boom. Grand territory. Spell axe up. You gotta know this trick to sit at the cool wizard table. He hacks the battlefield's history to spoil the future for everyone. Basically, he's got admin privileges over the whole fight. Giant rocks pop up and smack the bad guys like why. Our boy attacks, but a rock uppercuts the ugly thing first. Don thinks Felver's already acting like the MVP. Suddenly, the magic man crashes to his knees. His student starts freaking out and yelling. Gramps is shocked. He's out of juice. Tommy screams, you're overdoing it. Don keeps yeeting enemies into the. Sky Mage gets a vibe from the dirt, while the kid grins at the view. Don built a massive mountain of bodies and surfs on top. Gramps gets sick from a scary vision. He realizes this dude has respawned tons of times. Nay insists the squad needs to stick around here. Some other guy yells, we need that barrier key first. Nay points out the baddies came from the rift. Obvious clue, right? Astra Fortress is officially enemy property now. She wants to grab the loot, save the troops, and bounce home. Doomer hates her vibe though. He thinks yesterday's win was a sign from above to keep brawling. Pedna thinks the big guy wants them to prep for a boss battle instead. She keeps ranting, saying, the creeps aren't fully gone yet, so it's super sketchy. Leader calls for a vote. Hands up if you want to keep going. Our main guy shoots his hand up instantly, but he's gotta drop some truth first. I'll solo this raid if I have to. Only 2 others join in. 2 days later, Morb spots smoke. Yeah, that looks bad. The horses start sprinting toward the base. Don's weirded out that she actually tagged along. Pidna's stressing out. Why are you risking your neck? She says they should bail. Hero's like, if we run, those monsters just get stronger. Plus, knights don't run away. Don figures she just thinks differently, but she's still a solid pro. Everyone freezes in shock. Even Domer shuts up. The fort is toast. Just one dude left standing in the ruble. Guy stands up. What took you guys so long? Everlock grins. If you didn't show, I was gonna hunt you down myself. Don screams that the vice commander totally backstabbed his god, but Everlock's like, nah, I'm loyal to the boss who gave me these gains. Right then, Demeyer rushes the dude but totally whiffs the shot. The Inquisitor rages hard, screaming that this guy is total corrupted trash. Dummer shouts that the squad of 5 is gonna wreck Everlock for his treason, but the traitor doesn't even care. He's not wasting time on total scrubs. When Everlock broke bad, the evil god Lapham gave him serious cheat codes. The knight bugged out the whole fortress, unlocking 3 ultimate moves for the boss. He could spawn a dragon base or just rip a hole straight to hell, or turn Estra into some creepy ghost palace. Everlock brags he already started transforming this place into a ghost palace, and no one can nerf the evil god's power. Now, Dahl starts sweating bullets, thinking they might be too slow to stop the wipe. But before the dude finishes casting, a rock beans him right in the head. He's confused, since he warped space to keep distance hot. That hit confirmed. Maybe the Mage Elder is forcing the ground to glitch through the warped space. Don seizes the moment and yeets his dagger, shattering the guy's defense. That split second is all the hero needs to gap close for a combo. His sword smacks the barrier and actually pierces right through it. Finally, the hero has clipped into the other dimension. Now the protagonist is in the evil god's server. Literal hell. Inside lies Sliplum, the Phantom Palace, hiding the Garden of Hollows. The ritual didn't finish, so it's just a buggy instance trapping Everlock inside. And thanks to that, The hero knows he can totally take this boss down. Don weaves through branches, dodging hacks and chopping everything with his holy sword. Then he sticks. The landing 0, HP lost. War plants rush the hero, but he blocks them all like a pro. The longer you camp in this garden, the harder you get stuck. Hundreds of branches fuse into one giant weapon. Don is actually hyped. He spotted the core. He's finally at the dungeon's end. The core charges straight at the MC, trying to turn him into a kebab. But the branches are zooming, getting ahead of Don. Before he knows it, creepy hand branches are trying to grab him everywhere. But Don just slices through the hands and the big monster rushing him. Smoke from the explosion fills the garden like a foggy map. Looks like the MC finally hit the bottom level. More branches whip at him, but Don's grinning. He found the flame to nuke this place. Ding! A system notification pops up. Body of a fire knight discovered in the shadows of hell. Don got the loot, and before the mobs respawn, he spams the body collection skill. The hero gains proficiency, senses, intelligence, mana, and a message says divine power is flowing through his veins. Boom! The tree tips suddenly spark up like birthday candles. Since this creepy garden runs on evil juice, only holy power can wreck it. Ding! New ability unlocked. Sacred Fire Ember. It turns basic flames into god-tier fire. Don calls down a meteor storm. The woods get toasted. Time to roast those hellish shadows for good. Everlock instantly realizes he is totally cooked. Seeing his precious garden turn into a BBQ makes the vice commander freak. He barely made it to the hell shadows after the fort raid without messing up. Seriously, how many more of ... His schemes, will this merc wreck? Smack. Something hits his ugly mug. Everlock scans the area, trying to spot the sniper. Don steps out of the smoke, grinning like he just won the lottery. His face auto. Everlock goes full feral and charges blindly. They start trading hits faster than the eye can track. Don's suspicious though. Why isn't this dude leveling up yet? They move so fast you only see sparks and shiny metal blurs. Everlock is totally seeing red and lost his cool. Mid-clash, our boy lights it up. Everlock knows it's game over. Don lands a spicy kick, punting him deep into the woods. The fire eats everything, shattering the magic spell. Our hero realizes this cheat skill is way more OP than he thought, but suddenly, he feels super weird inside. Looks like this move drains his stamina bar, big time. No time to chill though, he's gotta just deal with the recoil. Kaboom! Everlock pops out looking like a gross mutant blob. He can barely talk, but still manages to call our boy a savage. Don thinks that is pretty hilarious though. Look who's talking. Does this guy really think he can judge anyone? The ex-human monster lunges with a sharp sword swing. He gets sliced in too, but somehow glitches and Don's getting salty. This guy is annoying in every form. Everlock keeps spamming sword attacks without stopping. He just doesn't get how this savage is wrecking him. He wants to know where Don was hiding that. Using his extra hands, he casts sky runes to bomb our hero. But Don just flips the fire switch on again. A fiery shield pops up, tanking every single hit. The merc replies that he never actually hit his power level. The rage monster rushes in, and Don skewers him with one stab. Everlock's brain just cannot compute this loss. Don takes the W. Someone yells out, shocked he's still breathing. Alright, that's a wrap for this video. Smash that bell so you don't miss part 2. Catch you later. Right here on Tob's channel.